boys are going to bring the heat today.
As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the fuck up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
We are live. We are crunch time. It is Monday, June 23rd. Jeff Iafrate, Booner, and of course, Lukas Klotz. Hot weekend, man. Jeez, it's still hot today, to be honest with you. I went outside, it was 96 degrees. So hopefully everyone out there, man, is staying cool. Like the people that don't have AC in their car, or maybe their AC broke, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, good luck out there. Okay. So, we had a great weekend, man. Monday, we're back. The day of Rocket Mortgage Classic, so it's going to be a good week, boys.
Come on. Oh, muted, Boone.
Damn.
Monday, you know what I mean? Monday, bro. Come on, man.
You dropped the first pass, Boone. You got to move. It's all right.
It's good, you know. We've seen people drop passes before. I'm not like Josh Reynolds out here, but we recover. No, it's hot, boys. It's very hot. I'm not gonna lie. I just filled up a water bottle and put ice in it, and like literally like a minute, it was melted, like a bunch of ice, not a little. So, and I'm inside, so it's crazy.
My balls is hot. No, it is insane. Like the humidity, like my armpits, my undercarriage, leg pits, everything has just been soaked for the past 48 hours. So it has not been easy or convenient trying to move around, but everybody's going through it, boys. So we move, probably cool down here a little bit, but I think it's pretty much all around. Like, I don't think it's one area. It's not like Michigan, Ohio. Like, the whole country right now, I think is getting just doomed on.
Yeah, we're getting destroyed by the heat. It was a hot weekend too. It really was. I'll say this too. We went golfing yesterday with Jeff and Mike. I'll say this. Jeff got beat by the sun. The sun beat. I've never seen someone so defeated by the sun. This guy was
like as an excuse or like legitimately.
No, I was over it.
This guy stopped playing. He asked if he could take one of the golf carts to go home. When me and Mike both said no, you're not.
You had to go set up though, didn't you, earlier on in the day?
He did, but no. Listen, it's either a dog or not. This guy, we all were out in the sun dying.
I would say
this guy was rattled.
I was probably in the sun this weekend 16 hours. So like in 2 days. So it was I think for me, I don't know about people out there. I do bad in like very hot weather. I hate it. Like it's just
I'd rather be severely hot. I can't do anything in the cold.
Would rather be
so when I'm really hot and just like really sweaty, I'm just like I'd rather be like this than freezing cold. If I can't feel my hands or my feet, dude, I'd rather do anything else but be there. And
this guy, Jeff, I mean, at the end of the day, we were just on the course. He missed every shot. I don't think he hit one good shot. And every time he would shoot it, he would just go, this heat, man, this sun. I said, dude, the only reason you're playing back, all you're thinking about is this sun. Like we all were so like dying. And I played the best round of my life. Best round I've ever had.
What'd you shoot, Boone?
93. I was, and you know what really made me mad? And I kept telling him, he was in my car. I'm Jeff's biggest believer when it comes to golf. I'm his caddy. I'm out there.
You're the one that wants him to do it more than anyone.
And I was on breaking 90 watch first time. Never broke 90. Never got to 89 before. We were probably 4 or 5 holes left. This guy just gave up on me. I'm done. I don't want to. I'm like, dude, he was just negative. I said,
a terrible teammate.
This is a bad friend move. I need you to step up and be positive for me. I need a teammate in my corner now. And the sun, I called him later in the night. I got literally just randomly like 4 hours later. It was like 9:30. I just called him just to tell him like, bro, you were rattled. And I just hung up. I got to get
listen. All right. I did leave a club it was a rough, like I had some things that
on the club.
I lost every ball I had. It was just one of those rounds, and the sun was just, I don't need to go into it. All right. The sun, God. This is the thing. When it's like 75, 80, I don't like, that's where I'm like, cool. 80 would probably be like where I'm like, all right, we're chilling here. I don't know how people live in Arizona. These places where it's like 100 degrees.
To be fair, it's not as
humidity
humid,
too, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
there's no sweat. You're not sweating really.
I think that's
There
what
was a
got me.
day
Is
last
it was
week
90.
where, like,
It was like 98 and humid. Like it was just heat. UV. I don't know what the UV ray was. I don't know any of this stuff, but yeah, I'm glad. I like Michigan. All right.
We just need to teach you, Jeff. You need to learn a little bit of mental fortitude, some mental toughness. Because if you're out on the football field with Dan Campbell,
no, that's ridiculous.
No, hear me out. If you're out on the football field with Dan Campball and adversity hits, are you just going to be like, the sun, man, I can't do it? Like, do you like Frank Ragnow or like Aiden Hutchinson when they go through injuries and stuff and pushing through it? Like, yeah, they don't like to be injured and playing. It's like being out. Yes, it is.
Injuries are bad, but like I'm talking about for me, this is nothing to do with getting hurt. This is just beating
mental.
It's
mental.
It's
You're
like
hot.
Frank playing through an injury or something. It's like, what if they were just
like,
I just don't like it. I don't want to do it, man. I hate it. And then they just
you're in the weather and it's hot. But the problem is that it seems Boone has been able to accommodate and be able to evolve past this step when it comes to the human evolution. It's
mental
hot,
toughness.
But you're telling yourself it's hot. It's hot. It's hot.
That's all he kept saying. I kept saying the more you say it,
next hole.
Yes, thank you.
I
wish Klotz was there.
Back in the AC.
Oh my God!
I literally just kept saying. I kept saying you need to stop talking about the weather and just focus on the shot. Just say screw the weather. Right the next like 2 seconds later he said,
"You guys, you know what?
This heat's getting me, man."
You know what? You should be happy.
Funny,
you learned something new about me. All right, we've been friends. You learned something new.
We need to get your mental toughness.
I am not going to argue mental toughness with. I will die.
You got to lock him out one day, Boone.
It's hard. I'll say this. It's hard to go at athletes for injuries and being like telling athletes to play through injuries and play through this and play through that if you can't do it on your own.
Dude.
Like, what if the quarterback, what if Jared Goff's like, there's one thing I won't play through. That's a hurt arm or hurt wrist, my left wrist.
I don't know where you're going with this.
What if there's just one thing I don't ever want to play through? And then you're over here going, play through the injury. But then it's like for you, you're like, there's one thing I can't do. It's the heat. It's like you can't. You got to be a dog.
By the way, a little low shot with the mental toughness thing. That's kind of
I was telling you on the course the whole time. I kept
you won't even get in the ice bath that I have. I'm trying to get you in. So mental toughness.
You never asked me to get in the ice bath once. No, okay. Klotz, remember this? I said I would do it. I was like, I'll do it. And I kept telling him, go to your neck. And he's like, I gotta wait for that. It's too cold. I can't do it.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
He's trying to flip this on me. This is turning into a dog.
You know what?
We gotta talk some ball today.
Boone, you started it by trying to insinuate I got no mental toughness, which is a hell of an accusation.
On Sunday, it felt like there was a moment where your mental toughness meter went down, and I kept saying it to you, and you just were like,
you know what?
It's fair. It's fair.
It was from
100-degree weather, unprepared. I was not prepared for it.
It was a hangover from those one-on-ones on Saturday nights. What it was. That's what broke it.
Oh, mental toughness.
That's what really
running
broke
around
it.
in the heat.
You were good job, but why weren't you doing
foot in the heat?
I didn't want to run routes. I was the quarterback. Klotz, who was all-time quarterback?
You're dropping dots. Great.
I could have been. I could have been like, dude, it's too hot. I don't want to throw the ball anymore. I'm done. This is one thing I just can't do is throw the ball in heat.
I mean, this is.
Let's have a show, boys. Huh?
This is gonna be a good fun start to a Monday. Hey, we got a big week ahead of us too, man. I'm pumped up.
For the people out there, the way Boone just described it, I've worked in heat. All right, I think Boone just.
What happened yesterday?
Painted a terrible picture of me just now. I can deal with some heat, but
no way.
I will say, whoever works 16 hours in heat, God bless you. That shit sucks. All right, that shit sucks.
Exactly, like we weren't out there all day on the turf for 7 hours yesterday or Saturday as well.
I mean, this guy, dude.
I had a 9-hour shift in the heat today.
Yeah, I was outside too.
I mean, I had 4 hours before we golfed in the heat. Boone was sleeping. So if we want to go there,
okay, 4 hours. We were outside. You were outside 18 hours. I was outside 14 hours.
All right, now we're getting childish. This is getting too childish. I can't do this. I can't play Boone's game. I gotta.
Either you're a dog or you're not. I mean, you know my saying. That's my saying. Either you're a dog or you're not. I tell Caleb that all the time. Either you're a dog or not.
He's so good at gaslighting. I have to do better at that. Or he's rage baiting. That's probably a better word. You know what, Boone? You're right. I have no mental fortitude.
No, you have some. Just yesterday, you were very low on it.
Yes, correct. But yeah, it was fun. Saturday was fun. The event with Tyler Conklin was fun. Had a blast. I mean, we got to hang out with Eric and Katie.
Shout out Eric. Yeah.
Shout out to him. Great people.
Great people, man. Eric's what they're doing, honestly, with their channel.
It's too easy, baby.
Yeah, but if you guys aren't already subscribed, I don't know what you're doing.
Great merch too.
Yeah, great merch. Well, we hung out with Eric and Katie all pretty much day, and then we got to interview Tyler. That's coming out. We got to interview Route God, who works with some of the top receivers, some of the best receivers in the league. Yeah, one of the best wide receiver just teachers of the game in the world. Yeah, an absolute savant. We just posted an interview actually on all our socials, so it was cool, man. Cool being out there. All the kids. I had my little brother involved in the camp, so he got to go out and work with all the pros. There was some Lions guys out there, man. NFL guys out there. It was awesome. It was a fun time. So
yeah,
shout out to Chrissy. That's Tyler's, I guess, PR marketing agent. She does a great job. She gets us involved in a lot of stuff. And Tyler, as always, man, just having us out there. It was a fun time.
I think it was so cool, dude. Like, maybe it was just me. I think the coolest part about all of that, like him getting like high schoolers out there and like college players and pros out there. That to me was like the coolest part because there's like high schoolers working with one of the best trainers in the NFL. And I'm sure some of these high schoolers, they don't have the access to be like, hey, let me call the route god up who works with Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill. I'm sure they have good trainers, but we're talking about like the best of the best in the game. And for Tyler just to be like, hey, I'm going to get the route god out here, to basically like out here in Detroit to be able to get this done and to get some of these like top high schoolers in the state to work with them. That was sick. And he and the route god was sick too. He was a good dude. And as always, Tyler, man, class act, bro. He put on a great event. All the stuff. They have food trucks. Yeah, but did you guys see the post too? Like,
I don't know.
There were some posts like good ones, like really good ones, and then there was like viral ones trying to like go at Tyler. But it was like, dude, this guy was out here cooking.
Yeah,
I saw him just post some videos about his route running too, and in the videos he posted, I mean, this guy Tyler cook people, bro. Put him. Crazy.
That's like the difference. It's just like with anything. You see things on social media and people get like they try to get their perspective. There's not a better perspective than being in person and watching guys run routes. Like when we're watching Tyler run routes in person or any of these guys, we're like, holy shit. Like these guys, there's levels to this. Like they're savants, as you used earlier. But then when you see a video, people are like, oh, I'm locking that up. It's like, dude, it's all just they don't see. If you were there, I mean, Tyler, for how big he is, dude.
Yeah. And to be fair, like there was other NFL players there that are tight ends, and they're all good, probably, working on their career, getting going. Tyler was the best player there and like route runner there. It felt like by like a mile. Like you could clearly see the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, now we know why this guy could be a starting tight end in the NFL or is a starting tight end. Like, it's just like, this is why.
Because it's funny too, because you can see even when he's doing the drills and just all of his movements, like it looks a little not awkward, but it's just different where it's like, why is he moving like that compared to when you watch some of the high school kids and some of the college guys. But then we were talking to Eric shout out to him from It's Too Easy. It's like, yeah, when you're probably going up against Bobby Wagner on Sunday, you probably got to move a little bit differently than you were through your entire life. So watching those guys move and just seeing how it looks like it's almost like that's probably why he's getting cooked, because the one where he has like the towel around his head, like it looks like he's about to pull up for a jump shot, and you can see when he's going, he's acting like he's pulling a crossover. But it's like I remember hearing Doug Baldwin talking about it. It's like when you're releasing, when you're doing anything, it's one-on-one. So it's like it's a lot of the same thing as like iso ball and basketball. So hip movement, shoulder movement. It's cool to see how it actually gets incorporated on the pro level.
Yeah, he played basketball in college before he went to Central to play football. So he's a basketball player. He got recruited to play college basketball. So, and then he transitioned. I don't know if that answers the question, who could translate better, NFL players to NBA or NBA to NFL. I think that probably answers that. I mean, Tyler played basketball and then in college was like, I'm going to play football. And look how good he is. So anyway, though, I want to throw that in. But it was awesome. Watching him work, man, it was fun. So everyone, that was a ton of people there. And the thing I love, by the way, if you're not from the Macomb County area, it's okay. You still can understand the fact that it's not really an area that's breeding out NFL players. It's like Tyler Conklin. I think Sean Murphy Bunting, Chippewa Valley, went to Chippewa
Shout out
Valley.
to him.
Sean Murphy Bunting's from.
I didn't know all that.
Yeah, he went to Chippewa, which I don't know if that's. I think it's Macomb County. I think I'm stupid, but it's in the air. It's not too far from where I live. But
you're not stupid, bro. Come on, man. You're just mental fortitude a little lower.
Yeah, I might be stupid, weak mental fortitude. I might just. What am I doing, dude?
I'm kidding.
No, but
you're doing good.
But it was nice to see him come back, dude, and do a camp at LCN, like right by the house. It's awesome. So shout out to Tyler, man. And then we got a big week this week because we're going to be downtown at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. It's supposed to rain, so I'm curious how they maneuver.
It looks like this is like random rain, to be honest, Jeff. It might actually get through.
Yeah, which will be
you're either a dog or you're not.
Yeah, Jeff, can you handle rain?
No, the rain does not. It's
okay. I'm just wondering. I mean, I'm kidding. We're gonna have a good time. I want to pull something out for that.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. We went to the Rocket Mortgage Classic last year. We met John there. We got to watch some golf, some great golf. Now we get to see it this year. So if you're going down there any days, man, look for us. We'll be down there pretty much every day, checking it out.
And on our socials too. On our socials, just make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everything. We're probably going to be we're literally there starting Wednesday, and we'll probably have someone there every day through Sunday. So if you're there, just hit us up, message us, and then follow. If you're not there, we'll have everything on our social media pages. The field is unbelievable too. Like Keegan Bradley just won the Travelers, and he's playing. And I know JJ Spawn, who won the U.S. Open, was supposed to be. He withdrew. But Wednesday, Jeff, I don't know if you saw this. The pro-am on Wednesday. Nice. The pro-am with some Detroit athletes is stacked. So Wednesday is actually a free day for I believe it's a free day. I could be wrong. I think it's a free day for fans. So if you're trying to go down and see golf and also see some celebrities, stacked boys. Dylan Larkin, Klotz, you're big.
Hey, your now guy, top 10. Good hockey player. He ain't top 10 in the city.
The captain, Dylan Larkin, Alex DeBrincat, the legend Barry Sanders is going to be there, which I'm pumped. Hopefully we get an interview with one of those three guys, to be honest, Larkin, DeBrincat, and Sanders. Old-time hockey. I don't know if you guys know who he is. I do. No. Have you guys seen the videos or the TikToks of the guy with the big beard that like lives up north in a cabin and he makes food and he talks? He's like, "Hey, buddy," and he makes food and he has his dogs. Yeah, so that's him. He's big in Detroit. He's obviously a Red Wings fan or Michigan sports fan. He's going to be there. Noah Gregson, hey. My NASCAR people, stand up.
Come on, boom.
Noah Gregson.
Right up your alley.
Hey, yeah, Eminem's daughter.
Haley Jade's going to be there with her husband. Jordan Kerr, who I believe is a tennis player. Sydney Lowe. Let me look it up real quick because maybe he's Sydney Lowe, former basketball player and coach. Basketball player and coach. Not familiar with Sydney Lowe's game, but I will get familiar by tomorrow or Wednesday. Hogan Hatton, boys. Klotz, my long snapper, stand up. Let's go.
Hey, get some brownie points, Boone.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna figure out. Maybe we can do a video with him at some point outside of the Rocket with Hogan Hatton, Jack Fox, Jake Bates, the legend Jason Hansen. That one really fires me up. I have a good Jason Hansen story, and then the legend Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis is gonna be a big one.
Outside of Barry, who would you want to meet the most?
Jason Hansen to me. I've told you guys the story growing up. My first Lions player I ever met as like a 6-7-year-old kid was Jason Hansen. And I did a kicking drill with him. So I would like to talk to him, tell him, hey, you did this. You made this. No, but Jerome Bettis is probably right up there, to be honest, actually. He's legendary.
Yeah, there's some it's
Jeff?
Who would I meet besides Barry?
Who do you want to interview when we go? Because you're going to interview someone.
Give me I kind of want to talk to Jerome Bettis, man.
I would say Jeff with the bus would be funny.
Jerome Bettis, man. Let's talk to the big fella, man.
That's such a good one, man. Yeah, I thought you were going to say Haley Jade for a second. I don't know why, but I thought you were going to say Haley for a second.
I mean, that would still be sweet.
Yeah, that's a big one, Haley.
We had Jason Hansen and Jake Bates, dude. The chop it up exchange.
Imagine if we got a double interview, both in the same.
Jack Fox would be good too. I mean, come on. He seems like a super chill dude. He's probably really good at golf. It's always the special team guys, like the kickers,
that
the punters.
Skill.
Yeah.
Like kicker, you got to have a strong leg, but let's not act like Jake Bates has fucking units. Like he's got AJ Dillon, Saquon Barkley type of legs. It's skill, long snapping skill, punting. Jack Fox, okay, punting I'll hear you out for. Jack Fox got some good legs on him now, okay? Can boot the ball pretty far. Skill though.
It's skill, especially I think kicking is very much a skill. Punting and having to put it in the exact spot, different spins on it. That's tough, dude. I remember McAfee did a punting thing with maybe like Peyton Manning or something, and he was like, you have to try. You have a couple shots to put in the coffin corner. And McAfee, 10 years after retirement, put it in the coffin corner right away. And then Peyton tried and just couldn't do it. It was just can't do it.
It's probably
he might have gotten it, but
Peyton, great Hall of Fame, top 3 quarterback of all time. When he tries to look athletic, it looks so uncoordinated.
Yeah.
Another thing, skill, quarterback skill. You gotta be built, obviously, but that's all skill. Most of it.
I will say too, over the weekend there was a lot of stuff that happened. One of them, Kevin Durant was traded. All right, Kevin Durant was traded, which was massive. All right, and when I saw it, I looked at my phone. I looked at the trade. I said, "Yeah, it's a good trade for the Rockets, man. It's a good trade for the Rockets." And I'm going to see what the Suns end up doing because Houston Rockets traded for Kevin Durant. They gave up Jalen Green. Funny how that works. That's over with.
Ironic.
Dylan Brooks, the number 10 overall pick, and 5 second-round picks. So that's the full trade right there. So when I first saw it, I go, okay, Houston gets to get rid of Jalen Green and his contract. Dylan Brooks, which I like Dylan Brooks, good role player, but it's you're not going to miss it. He'll be fine. Post Dylan Brooks. And then the 10th overall pick, which they don't need. They're trying to win now in 5 seconds. To me, this is a great trade for the Rockets. They have a 2-year window. They still have Fred VanVleet, KD, Sengun, Jabari Smith Jr. They got, Eason. They still got a nice core of players together there. And they really gave up Jalen Green, which again, Jalen, I think, has shown flashes, but overall, dude, he's just he's inefficient. He doesn't make others better. He's just not a guy you want to build around. He's just not. So I think this is a splash trade for the Rockets. This is an awesome trade. I saw some of the other offers floating around, Cleveland offered Darius Garland. I think Miami offered some trade. They offered a couple role players. It wasn't a great trade what they offered, to be honest.
Wolves.
So in terms of I guess the best deal, I don't think the Suns. I think the Suns probably got the best deal to them. They got Jalen, which they could probably flip. I hope they want to flip because it makes no sense with the Suns unless they trade, I guess, Booker. But for the Rockets, boys, this is awesome. I mean, and it made me think people immediately go to the Pistons. It's could you have gotten this done with Ivy, Tobias Harris, and you don't have a first round pick. You have a late one. You don't have an early one this year, but you give up future first. I mean, I don't know. I guess you'll never. I guess we won't really know. But what's your guys' reaction to the trade? And did the Pistons miss out? Did they miss out on KD?
I don't know if they missed out. I'm just interested. I don't know because KD's at the end of his career. I'm not saying he's done next year.
Probably got 2-3 years.
But I guess it depends on what they get out of him. To me, it's you don't know who wins this deal, and I know this is such an obvious statement, but looking down the line, it's going to take a year or two to even know because with KD, it's just look at the Suns. At the time, everyone thought the Suns, they just went coming off an NBA Finals. They have the team. Now we had Kevin Durant. And now it's the Suns are a championship contender. And now look what they did for the last 2 years. They couldn't make a run with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. So it's just I don't know. I'm interested. I know people hate Dylan Brooks. I do think Dylan Brooks is a kind of a glue guy. I really do. I know that's probably a very unpopular take, but I like guys in the NBA like Dylan Brooks who are those glue guys and kind of who keep the team together and lock up defensively. He still averages 14, 15 points a game, right? And like now the Jalen Green, who in the regular season averaged like 20 something, but still, you know what I mean? You're replacing, in my opinion, you're replacing a lot in which older Kevin Durant, which he could still probably average 20. He's going to average 25 plus, but it's just like, listen, this is my thing. Like, I think there are certain players that you can make these big trades for. It's like Giannis, in my opinion, is one of those guys because like he's proven to stay where he's at and win with the team that's built around him. KD, in my opinion, and you guys know how I feel about it. And this is nothing against KD. I think he's an absolute hooper. Like he's one of the greatest scorers of all time, if not the greatest. It's just like this trading for a guy like Kevin Durant. We've seen it multiple. The Nets tried it, didn't work out. Suns tried it, didn't work out. Now Rockets do it. How is it going to work out? I don't think it's going to work for them, to be honest. I would rather, if I'm a GM or if I'm a coach or a fan, I would rather roll with Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, or maybe just trade Jalen Green for a different type of role player or a different type of player that's going to get you 15 to 20 and roll with that over giving up those assets for Kevin Durant. Yeah, Personally,
I honestly agree with you, Boone. I think Houston, I know you're not saying they're going to be bad, but I think they definitely, with the West in the form that it's in right now, it's definitely not like, oh, the Thunder just automatically going to walk to the finals next year. Like, they definitely have a chance, but it's not like the West is just the Thunder's West. Like, the West, there'd be a couple teams when you go to the playoffs next year that can make a run. But I don't hate the trade that much for Phoenix either, just because it wasn't working, and they needed to make that first move. And I think by letting go of KD, it's signaling to the fans, the organization, the players, like, hey, we're not going to be competing for a championship like we said we're going to do. We got to hit the rebuild or the reboot button. And I think with adding Jalen Green, try to find a way. I know it's damn near impossible to get rid of Bradley Beal, but this allows them at least to take the first step and be like, okay, we've got to move on past the current situation that we're in and rebuild. And they still do have talent where they're not going to be a complete laughingstock of a franchise, because we've seen how the lottery's been working out the last couple of years, where it does not matter what pick you have. Doesn't matter the odds you have to get the number one pick. It's probably going to go to the team that you were like, oh, that team should have no shot of getting it. They're probably going to get the first overall pick. So if you're the Suns, stay competitive. You're getting somewhat of a quote unquote star. I don't know if you'd want to use that with Jalen Green. Some people would, some people wouldn't, but it's still going to be entertaining to watch the Suns, to watch D-Book, Beal, and now you got Jalen Green there. It's going to be a fun team to watch, but I think some people, I don't think it's a great trade for them, but it was a necessary one. But I think some people just are acting like the Suns just got fleeced. And I just think it's not necessarily.
No, I think it's going to end up being just a lose trade. I feel like people always think there has to be a winner in a trade. I don't think either side's going to come out on top, to be honest.
I just like the fact for Houston that they do have Udoka. Like, I think they got a good coach there to be able to hold it down.
Oh, well, I mean, all that aside, a trade in general, though, I just don't think the trade's going to be like, this team really won, this team won. The only way I think a team can win is that 10th overall pick. If the Suns pick like an absolute a future star player or even just a future starter, then I think the Suns win the trade, to be honest. Yeah, I think that 10th overall pick is the one that does it.
I think, in my opinion, I think the Rockets won the trade, but do I think this guarantees a title? Like, no, it doesn't guarantee a title. It gives them a hell of a shot at it, especially because what you said about the West, although I think the Thunder are here to stay. I mean, not only do they have the players, they have a bunch of picks. I mean, Sam Presti had a quote, actually, an absolute bar, by the way. Like, and I'm going to use this for the future, but he said, shortcuts cut long runs short. That's what he said this weekend after they won. Not this weekend. Yesterday. Yeah, this weekend when they won. And it's because they've built the team they have young players they've drafted. They traded for SGA. They have a bunch of picks, and they just won a title. And they still have young guys under contract, a bunch of picks. Like, they usually. Yeah.
So hearing that, though, why do you think the Rockets won that trade going for an old player like Kevin Durant?
No, well, I was going to tie it all back. I think there's an argument that if you have a good young core, that you don't want to break it up or mess it up. Like the Thunder had it, and I think many people would look at the Thunder and say they need to make a move. I think with the Rockets, I think Jalen Green, man, you can't win with that guy. You just can't. I know they won regular season games, but I'm talking about a championship. I just don't think Jalen Green can be the best player on a championship team, like SGA can or something. So I think it's a little different, like I don't mind them trading. Now, the Rockets, they took a shortcut. They think they can win it. If they don't win it, which they have 2 to 3 years, like, yeah, you're going to look back at this trade and be like, you know what? They failed. But if you're a Rockets fan, Like I kind of respect it. Like, hey, we're trying to win it.
Yeah.
Jalen Green, like the Pistons are a little different. Like Cade Cunningham, like that dude is legit. Like we have a star player. You can argue Ivy, whatever. It's the debate. But with Jalen Green being their franchise player, dude, he's just not. He's not.
They're essentially though. They're all in now. The Rockets they have to win the next year or two. And I don't know if they're going to extend Kevin Durant. I think his contract's actually coming up. So they have no choice but to win at this point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, the Thunder won. They beat the Pacers. Tyrese tore his Achilles, which honestly, it was terrible. Like, I feel so bad for the guy. I mean, I think the way it ended in that fashion is just terrible. Like, he was playing well in that game. Like, I'm going to say, like, I picked the Thunder. Like, the Pacers, they would have had that game would have been neck and neck to the end if Tyrese was there. That could have went either way. Like, the way it ended is because
they win that game if Tyrese doesn't go out.
They would have had it would have been close. Like, Tyrese is the engine of that team. Like, he is. He's the absolute engine of that team. And you saw when he went down, they tried, they battled, they kept it close, but eventually, dude, they don't have what Tyrese can provide on the floor, his playmaking ability. He can shoot. Like, the way he sees the game, they missed it terribly.
Yeah. It was so clear.
It's so bad.
It was so clear, though, like every single, like, dude, they couldn't get a shot off in the second half, it felt like they were struggling so bad to find any sort of rhythm. And it's literally, and this is where it's like, we had this argument all day today with Flannel, like, and yesterday. It's like, this is literally why Tyrese is a top 15 player in the NBA. You don't need to score 20, 30 points. Like, last night was such a eye-opening experience with no Tyrese being like, now you don't have a guy creating shots for other players or running the offense. And defensively, people might, but he's not. He's a great defender as well. I think he's top 15 in the NBA in steals per game. Like, he averages a steal and a half a game. So it's like you're losing a defender. And on top of that, your offense, everything runs through him with him on the floor. Now your offense, you have to find someone else. And you could be like, oh, it's Siakam. Who's putting Siakam in positions to be able to score the rock? Yes, Siakam can ISO guys in the post, and he can make his own plays. Yes, he can't do it every play. You need to be able to have another threat on the floor in Tyrese to open up a guy like Siakam. And that was where I think people undervalue what Tyrese does so well. And if Tyrese, dude, if he was healthy yesterday, it sucks because I'm sure I was thinking about it yesterday, like the calf injury. I'm sure they knew the risk too of him tearing his Achilles. Like, when you have that calf strain, it's obviously going to, like, slowly, as you're playing at that level, strain your Achilles, like, more and more. And I'm sure he knew the risk, and he was just like, dude, I'm just hoping.
It's a real thing. Like, the examples I have, and immediately that come to mind, you have Tyrese Halliburton. You have, and then the biggest one is Kevin Durant. Like, JD. Kevin Durant in the finals had a strained calf, and he played through it, and he tore his Achilles. Now, I'm not a doctor. All right, so don't listen to a word I'm saying, but my theory, and if there is a doctor in the chat or someone with a medical background, correct me if I'm wrong, if your calf is injured, your body and the way that whole back of the leg area where the calf and the Achilles works, I'm assuming it's all more pressure on your Achilles to do things. So when your calf's strained,
it's all tied together.
So it's put more pressure on your Achilles. And you see these guys tear their Achilles because of it, like
I think Gilbert Arenas said that KD told him, and I think Dame said the same thing, that they were dealing with calf injuries. Could be wrong with that. Could be wrong with it, but I think both of those guys, I thought I saw a quote that said Gilbert Arenas had spoke with both of those guys, and both of them said they were dealing with calf stuff. So I think at this point in the NBA, it's, hey, if you have a calf injury, you're out until it's healed, because you can't do that. But it's like, it's so tough. It's Game 7 NBA Finals. Game like 5, 6, 7. It's just like, let's just get through it. Like, let's get to Game 7 in the offseason. We can heal it. It sucks that this guy's going to be out for a year now, like 12 months, 10 months. Like, that's gut wrenching.
Brutal, especially coming off. They were in Game 7 of the finals.
Like, knowing that if that doesn't happen, they win potentially.
Even if, like, anything except a torn Achilles. Like, I feel like Achilles is probably worse than, like, a knee. Just because
right now in today's world, like, for sure.
Like, to your point, like the modern medicine, but even just like the structure, like your Achilles is just chilling there. You know what I mean? Like you're not bracing. You're like you can wear ankles for anything, but it takes away your
worst
speed.
to watch too.
Think about especially coming back from it too. Any sport, like the recovery process, like when he comes back, let's say it's in 11 months. Tyrese is not going to be Tyrese again for probably 12, 13 months. Like that's such a mental thing to get over too in basketball.
Dude, I hate to, and I was watching it last night, dude, and when I saw it, my TV is a little behind. Jeff just needed a win tonight, man. Jeff just needed a win tonight. He got Jeff's Phil.
I mean, can I have some love? Thanks, Phil.
There you go. Hey, Phil. Shout out, Phil. Shout out, Jeff, man. Hey. When I was watching I got an alert on my phone on my TV. I use Hulu, so the streaming's like a minute behind. And I got an alert, someone tweeting out that have their alerts on that says Tyrese hurt. And I thought it was the play that just happened. He went up for a rebound, and I thought maybe he was limping a little. And then I saw what happened. And some people are questioning it. I mean, I'm at the point, I watch so much now, instantly I'm like, that's an Achilles. Like, you don't have to. And then they just keep showing it, and they keep showing it. And when you see, the worst part about an Achilles injury is when they replay it and you see that pop. It is the worst. My heart, I can't imagine what he's going through. My heart dropped for him when I'm like watching the injury back when they first showed it, and when I saw the pop, my heart dropped. I was sitting next to my cousins. I said, "Oh no!" One of my cousins was like, "Did you lose a bet?" And I'm like, "No."
Dude, I was watching. My buddy's a Pacers fan, and we were over at his house watching it, and the momentum swing from the beginning of the first quarter when Tyrese is like popping off, like you're Tyrese is having a game, like he's right. He took his Reggie Miller jersey off. He just probably in the matter of a half hour drank 8 beers. Like it was done for.
It is crazy. They need to stop doing that. Dude, show it 2-3 times and then get it off.
They did the same thing with Hutch. Remember?
Yeah,
Hutch?
They just kept doing it.
Playing it.
I don't know what the rules are behind that, but they need to. And it's tough, dude. Like he's like sitting there crying, and there are like just bad people in the world who will just go at him and make. But this dude is just like, dude, in sports, if you've played, you know that like. It's just heartbreaking, man. Especially games. I couldn't imagine what was going through the mind's head.
Oh, dude.
Or the dude's mind.
Right away that he just tore his Achilles.
Oh, yeah. And he's just, you can see it. He's like, no. It's like, man, it's tough. I thought, though, they still were winning a half, I think.
They were hanging around, man.
They were up at half.
I knew when the TJ McConnell, when I saw the little lower third where it's like TJ McConnell has scored the last 12 points for Indiana, and it's been since the middle. I was like,
we can't withstand this.
This ain't gonna last too long.
Who was it? Was it Mathurin? Mathurin wasn't hitting the shot. He was getting to the foul line in the middle of the third, and they're kind of cutting it back. But Mathurin wasn't hitting shots. Naismith wasn't doing anything. You guys are bringing up Siakam, where it's like once there's no Halliburton, focus on Siakam. Let TJ McConnell go off. Bro.
If Siakam's as good as everyone was saying he is, he's the best player on that team. Why didn't they stay in the game?
I know that's Sam Flannel stuff.
With Flannel, Texas was like, they're still going to win this game because they don't need Tyrese. And I said, that's the weakest excuse ever, dude. What are we doing here?
That's not good.
Like, if you're really going to use that.
The thing with Sam, it's like this group chat, man, him just trying to be like this, everyone's just hyping up Tyrese. It's like this guy, he's not even the best player on his team. And I love Sam. And the one thing I did agree with, I think we all agree with, is the people that are now they're overcorrecting him getting hurt and saying it's like the best playoff run since 2018 LeBron. That's got to be
that's crazy.
But in terms of his importance on the team, Sam Flannel's absolutely wrong. He's just wrong.
Well, okay.
He's wrong.
This is the thing with Flannel, and you know this, Jeff. I'm sure you kind of get he is saying he's just very mad, and I hope he's watching because I love Flannel so much. So maybe the fact that I don't want to put this over text and can hear it, it helps explain my thought process more.
Yeah.
He keeps saying that he's mad that people are saying it's the most over or it's the best run ever from a player or whatever. That's what he's mad about. But in tied with it, when he does that, he also will just be like, he's just such an overrated player. He's not even the best player on there. Just because you disagree with the first part, let's not go to extremes about it. Like he discredits Tyrese in it, and then he texted us and was like, "All right, this was He texted us to the group and said, "All right, no, you boys are right. Like those people just make me mad that it's the overrated run." And then he's like, but yeah, he's still a really good player. I still think he's one of the best players. And then I turn on his show this morning after he sends the text, and he's like, he's the most overrated player in the NBA. He's the second best player on his team, and it's not close. I'm like, bro, I'm like, you can't. What are you doing? I thought we just came together on an agreement, so I had to text back and be like, I put that in the quotes. Like, what are we doing here, man? I think he just gets fired up and just fires off things without
it's a snowball.
The
woosah. He needs to do that for a reason, Boone.
I will say big. It's big for the Thunder, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Newer franchise. Shout out to the Seattle. Seattle had a team and then they took it right away. Sucks. Seattle needs a basketball team back, by the way.
They do, man. But, you know who needs a team? They need to get more teams in Nashville, like basketball, football. Or they already have football, baseball.
Vegas too. I think Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Can I say one more thing about
the team? They have a WNBA team, but they need an NBA team. They do. Vegas is a massive market. Nashville, massive. I mean, Memphis,
Nashville would be hype. They moved Waggy in Memphis still, bro.
Yeah, no, Nashville needs they need all 4 sports teams. Nashville is a great city. Yeah. When we went, I was like, dude, they obviously have football and hockey. They need MLB and they need basketball. That city would be unbelievable.
Yeah, that would be a good call. They need a baseball team for it.
Baseball would be so good in Nashville.
Send the A's to Nashville, bro.
They're going to Vegas already. It's a done deal.
They
got baseball. They got
football. Grizzlies should have relocated the second that Zach Randolph retired. Maybe if you wanted to hang on a little bit longer with Mike Conley there, but they should be in Nashville for sure. You got to worry about more so getting shot in Memphis than having a good time at a Grizzlies game.
There was a player Stephen A. Smith on this show last week had said he told Jai, he just said, I have players that tell me that they're scared. Like I think scared was the word he said, or don't feel safe, not scared, don't feel safe in Memphis. And I'm like, I didn't know it was like that in Memphis.
Wild.
I've never been.
Yeah,
not familiar.
I don't think. Yeah, it's.
Can I say one last thing about the NBA before we move on?
Go on.
I just want to say, Klotz, you said something about the West. I kind of disagree with what you said.
I think you're about to say what I was going to
say. I think the Thunder might be the team to beat going forward, and I don't think it's close. I don't think it's wide open. I think this Thunder team, and listen, I'm one that all throughout the season, I'm like, yeah, maybe this is a fraud, and even up till Game 7, I'm like, the Pacers are going to beat them. I get Tyrese went down, and they might not have won. This SGA is extremely young still. I don't know his exact age, 24, 25. Just won an MVP. Jalen Williams is younger. He's young. And every single piece that they have guys that are sitting in the wings that are going to be very good players that are top 15 picks that are just sitting there, not getting playing time because they're not developed. Like guys like Jalen Williams who weren't playing instantly, who were just developed when they won 20 games. These guys are just getting developed. They're going to add more. They have 11 first-round picks the next 5 seasons, like 16 second-round picks the next 5 seasons. Now, that 27 picks, they're not going to use them all. They're going to be able to go out there and use those picks to go get better players, and they're going to end up I think the Thunder are going to win a couple championships over the next 5 years. I think they win 2 or 3 in the next 5, 6 seasons. I just think they're just dominant, man. They're so good. Take.
I just think, and it's very common, like for example, when the Nuggets won it. Nuggets aren't going anywhere. They're going to win the next two. They're going to go back to back. And I feel like we see that all the time in the NBA where it's like, yes, it's easy to say that. But I do think, example, you guys preach about all the time. If the Lakers get a big man and they can add some depth there in a 7-game series, you're not locking in the Thunder.
Yeah, but the Thunder, the Thunder are still the team to beat at that point, though.
I don't hate that take.
You can't use the Nuggets though, because the young Nuggets, they had Jokic, but then they compiled it with a bunch of vet pieces. KCP, Jamal Murray. The Thunder they're young. They're homegrown. I know they brought in and traded SGA, but that's young.
And you're spot on, but I don't think that by default is just for the next 2 to 3 seasons they're just going to be walking over the West.
I'm not saying walking, but they're the team to beat. To where it's like, to me, it's every year they go into the season, they're going to be the favorites to win the championship for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, they won't.
And there's no question about it.
I don't think it's a far I don't think they're in their own category, but they're at the top of the category, championship.
I don't hate that take. Yeah, that's fine.
Everyone's going to look at them as we need to beat this team. It's no longer the Nuggets and
Celtics.
Yeah, because you think about it, the 11 first round pick thing, they don't have to. if Sam Presti wants to select 5 of the 11, he'll probably hit.
He's drafted pretty well.
He's drafted very well. So he's probably going to hit on more young players. And then if you want to trade the other 6, you can go get a dude. Like you can, so they can add without giving anyone up and draft talent. You know what I mean?
They could have got KD if they wanted to be honest. They could have.
I would have loved, but
they could have added KD, and they probably didn't just because they're like, we're dealing with the championship right now, so we don't want to negotiate. But they easily could have probably just been like, hey, we'll give you 2 of we'll give you 2 of our 11 first round picks, and we'll give you 2 or 3 seconds. And they probably didn't even have to give up maybe one player, a guy who doesn't even play, who's young, based off of what they gave up here. Like they could have just boom, 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 boom. Here you go, and they still have more picks than probably like the Pistons.
Oh,
that's how crazy it is. And I don't think people realize this Thunder team, man. And I was the one that's been like, oh, they're going to lose.
I mean, if they want,
they scare me, man. They might go back to back.
If Giannis requested a trade, they can give up 6 first-rounders, get Giannis.
Oh, instantly.
And no one could compete with that, you know what I mean? Because they have so many picks.
And some of those first-round picks they have aren't their own. Like, obviously, because they have 6 or they have 11 in 5 years. They're not their own first. Like they have other teams that could lose, and you could get a top 15 pick out of it if you get the right picks, right? If you ask for the correct ones and you go look at it. So I think this Thunder team, man, I think they're going to be around for a long time. I know this Nuggets team. I still think the Nuggets are good, Klotz. Like I get what you're saying there. I just think they're built 2 different ways. Like Jokic was, drafted. Jamal drafted, but those guys, it took them a while. Like this team is just so young and did it so fast. Like Jalen Williams, I think, what is he in year 3?
Yeah, and that's a breakout year and they won.
He's a top 15 player in the NBA all of a sudden, and you already have an MVP. So it's like you're sitting there and you have that duo, bro. They put it up on the screen after the game, and they put up most points scored by a duo in the NBA Finals. It was Kobe, Shaq, Jalen Williams, and SGA, and Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. And it's like these guys are 24 years old doing this.
Yeah. I think Chet can get better too.
No LeBron,
Kyrie. He's not a Chet fan. Not a Chet fan. Never will be.
Chet's good too.
I won't deny that he is good.
He hasn't really been what he should be yet. He's gonna
get good too. I forget about Chet, man. Oh my gosh, he's going into his 3rd season too. Like that was his 2nd year,
and he was injured his entire first year. I mean,
he was injured. He only played 32 games this year. And he came in, and then he had a hip injury. I think he broke his hip or something, he broke something, missed 50 games, came back, averaged 15 and 10 basically, and just helped him out. And now next year he's getting like his 1st or 2nd full season.
I do, before we continue, I got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's show and make sure we share love to our friends over at Comer and Cross. So let me tell you about them. All right. Comer and Cross, 1-day installation concrete floor coatings. And I know, especially with this heat, you're walking on that garage floor, maybe the outside patio, and it's hot. I was outside today, burned my feet. It stinks. Maybe you saw a crack, though, while you were out there. And I'm sure you're sick and tired of staring at it. And whether it's outside, on the patio, or inside, you got a crack in the garage floor. Right now, during Comer and Cross's summer installation sale, they're offering 12 months, same as cash, or $500 in savings. All you got to do is call the number, 248-834-3488. They transform not only garage floors and patios, but pool decks, basements, even driveways. And plus, they'll move the stuff out for you. So again, call the number, 248-834-3488. Or you can book your free estimate at comercross.com and make sure you tell them that your friends over at Crunch Time sent you. Shout out to Comer Cross there. Let's get back to it. All right. We still got plenty to get to. We still have Lions football to talk about. We got some things. I actually had an idea that I got from someone else that I will give credit to that I do want to talk about on the show. And we're also going to do our NFC North over-unders because we didn't get to do those Friday. We had other things we were doing. But so we got more to talk to. Right now, I do want to get to something I was excited to talk about and a question I genuinely wanted to ask you fellas. And that question is, in Pride of Detroit, Jeremy Reisman, they posted an article about it. Which Detroit Lion on day 3 this past season, or this past draft, day 3 pick. So you have Miles Frazier, you have Ahmed Hassanin, Dan Jackson, Dominic Lovett. Okay, those 4 players. Which day 3 pick has the best chance to succeed? throughout his career. I'm not talking about
not
this
year
year.
one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about through their career. Which player do you either from the looking at the player and you're like, this guy's good, or B, maybe a role he could step into and be really good for a while? Miles Frazier, Ahmed Hassanin, Dan Jackson, Dominic Lovett.
So can we all agree here? We're just going to take off. I love them. Love both of them. Dan Jackson and Dominic Lovett.
No.
Well, Jeremy went with Dan Jackson. That was his pick. Just fun. Yeah. He went with Dan Jackson.
Go ahead, Boone. I agree with your statement, Boone. But Jeremy.
Wow. Shout out Jeremy, man. That's bold. I do got to go read it then.
Interesting. That's got to be a great angle to have on him. Go ahead, Boone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, especially with the two safeties that you have. Listen, I would want to do Miles Frazier, but it's tough the position he's in with the guys in front of him. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? And maybe career-wise, Miles Frazier at some point is going to have an opportunity, but like especially going into his rookie year, Graham in front of him. You have Christian Mahogany, who got drafted last year, who's going to be your starting guard. And then you also have Tate Ratledge, drafted a couple rounds before him, who's most likely going to get that other spot. So it's tough, in my opinion, right now for Miles Frazier. I think the guy who's going to end up getting the biggest opportunity at some point this year, and then throughout his career, I do think turns it into something and is able to, just based off of like skill set and just work ethic, because I think you have to go with Ahmed Hassanin. I really do. And I've been on this all off season. We saw him at the combine. Like, it's kind of crazy story for the boys, because we got to kind of all react to Ahmed during the NFL combine. And we were all like, who is this kid? And we had no clue he was going to be a Detroit Lion. But we could just tell, hey, this guy's a dog. And we start looking at stats and digging deeper, watching film and everything. And like, you know what really gets me, boys? We have all that. It's the fact that like these coaches in there now, when they get asked about him, they're like, this guy is just like, he plays with his hair on fire. And that was something where you're like, all right, when he gets to the next level, is he going to be able to compete doing that? And every comment you hear, I know they haven't put pads on and gone through training camp, but every comment you hear over mini camp and rookie camp, it's like, dude, this kid just works. And I'm a believer, especially in the NFL, if you have the skill set and the size and you work like that, you're going to make it. Like that's what it takes. Like, I think that's the third part. Like, I think you could have the skills and the size all you want, and you're not going to make it if you don't work. Jamarcus Russell. I'm not. I throw that like that. You can have all the skills you want. You can be that big. You can everything you want. If you're not willing to work and put that in, you're not going to do anything. And I think Ahmed has that. And I think he's going to get in a position at some point this season to where he's going to be able to get on the field, especially with the injuries you've seen in the D line. And Marcus Davenport probably not going to play a full season. Knock on wood. Hopefully he does. But I think Ahmed's going to end up having an opportunity to step in, get a lot of reps at some point this season. And when he does, I've said this before, fellas, I don't see the guy passing up on an opportunity and throwing it away. When he gets his opportunity, that's one of those guys you look out there, and we're going to be streaming, and we're going to be sitting there, and you're going to see him run on the field, and just out of nowhere, you're going to see a sack and be like, what number was that? That's Ahmed Hassanin.
Come on, buddy.
That's the guy. Hey, I'm going to look over at Jeff and say, give me my pizza. Let me have a pizza after he gets his fourth sack of the year. And I truly believe it too, boys. I really do. I think when he gets an opportunity, I think no, obviously not, but no Za'Darius. But like, even if Za'Darius is out there, I'm still like expect guys to get hurt. I know it sounds bad, but like it's inevitable, and it's inevitable that at some point this season, Ahmed's going to get a run at it, and he's going to have a chance to get to the quarterback. And all I can picture in my head, boys, and it might just be me. All I can picture is just an absolute bull rush coming off the side, straight at like Lamar Jackson, and Lamar being like, trying to run and then just gets blown up by Ahmed Hassanin. I don't know what it is. We should
Lamar
clip that.
Jackson gets welcomed to the league by Ahmed
Hassanin. And
reverse it.
I don't know.
What the
just
NFL's about Lamar.
I get a feeling, and then it feels like, man, you see these stories all the time. It's like you're gonna a couple years down the line, the people are gonna look back and be like, "This guy, they got him in the what round? The 5th round or 6th round? Sorry,
yeah."
It's like no way. Give me Ahmed Hassanin.
Well, Boone, it's going to be hard for me to follow that up.
Are you taking Ahmed too?
It's a flip of the coin for me, okay?
There's no flip of the coin. You've got one choice.
Listen, Boone. I agree with you 100%. I think Ahmed's going to be a star as far as what he was drafted, as far as a 6th-round pick. Like, he's going to develop and I think over exceed by a long shot. I think he's going to be really good, and pretty early in his first couple of years, you're going to see this dude's going to be around in the NFL for a while. But this is why I'm going to say Miles Frazier, okay? Because Miles Frazier,
he flipped the coin.
I did. That's why it's like
that wasn't your original pick. You know it. You adjusted. I respect it.
No, but here we go.
Stick to your guns.
We can agree on the Ahmed thing, but let's hear the case for Miles Frazier, because I think there's a damn good case for it. Miles Frazier coming out of a Power 5 school. This is not saying anything against Ahmed when I bring these points up. Goes to a Power 5 school, plays in, when you talk about offensive lineman, defensive lineman, Big Ten last year, I'll give it to him. Year before, I'll go SEC. And Miles Frazier was at LSU both of those years and did not give up a single sack. And when he was at FIU, you see the versatility that he has at guard and at tackle. So, and his strength is pass protection. When you have Hank Fraley, when you have Penei Sewell, when you have Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, all these guys around. I know Frank Ragnow's not there anymore, but a year of just sitting behind and developing as a run blocker for this offense, I think is going to be huge for him. But you look at the Dan Skipper role, how he just finds a way for this team. I think he could do that for one. And two, he'd be better than that. I think he's definitely going to be a better offensive lineman in totality than what Dan Skipper has been for this team up to that point. Not dissing Dan Skipper, great role guy, but I think Miles Frazier has more potential. We saw what Brad Holmes did with Christian Mahogany in the 6th round last year, coming out of Boston College. Miles Frazier coming out of LSU, one of the better offensive linemen in the college period. They had Will Campbell on that side, but if you got Will Campbell, where are you sending the blitz? Miles Frazier's way. And guess who did not give up a sack? Miles Frazier. So I think when you look at Taylor Decker getting older, Graham Glasgow getting older, Chris Mahogany looks good, uncertainty there. Tate Ratledge, I don't think you have to worry about. And then Penei Sewell. You got 2 spots that I think for sure with Penei and Tate Ratledge. Those are locked down longevity-wise in the future. Don't have to worry about it. Taylor Decker, he's going to retire. Christian Mahogany, like I bring it up, he looks good, but we don't fully know yet. So if Miles Frazier in a year after development, he's intangibly going to be a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to Mahogany. He's got a shot where if he cracks this offensive line, when, again, there's going to be injuries too, where if he can make this starting rotation and hold his own, I don't see him giving that up, kind of in the same spot that we're talking about Ahmed. I think Ahmed, when you look at his size and strength and just how he's more polished, I think right away can develop a lot earlier. But with Miles Frazier, the things that he could be ceiling-wise, I think there's a lot of potential for him to be in this line, starting offensive line, down the road. I don't think year 1, he's not going to be that type of guy, but if there's an injury in year 2 and he steps in and starts, I don't see a situation where Miles Frazier just goes in there and shits the bed after what you saw out of him at LSU. Like his tape against Bama. I mean, it's Bama, and Nick Saban might not be there, but Bama's front 7, Jahad Campbell, you look at the guys that are over there, he put on a just film tape where it's just, this guy is ready for the NFL, and I think with the Detroit Lions under Hank Fraley after a year, he'll be good to go.
I actually don't. I think the Miles Frazier one's a really good one. That's where I was going to go with it because I knew you would take Ahmed. And I think Ahmed and Miles are the 2 you have to kind of mention because as much as I love Dan Jackson, I really like Dominic Lovett. I think there's a chance for Dominic Lovett to be a long-time contributor in the NFL because I think he's slept on. But I think what Miles Frazier brings, they both, you spoke about Ahmed. Like, we don't need to, mentality-wise, he checks all the boxes. I mean, work ethic, size, everything, mentality. He checks all those boxes. So for Ahmed, in terms of his career, that's a good guy to bet on. Miles Frazier is another one to bet on because of the level he's played at and the conference he played at, where he played. And you look at where he is with the Lions now. We're not talking about year 1. So he's a guy who's going to sit behind Mahogany and Tate Ratledge. But if there is a scenario in which you move Tate Ratledge to center, like Miles Frazier could be your starting guard and be, I think, a very good guard. His pass blocking grades at LSU and what he did in against SEC pass rushers was excellent. So I think you kind of nailed it there, Klotz. I like these are probably the 2. I don't know if I would go as far to say Dan or Dominic Lovett over these 2. I'm
interested to see. I'm gonna have to go at some point and read that. But
let me ask you boys real quick. Miles Frazier at guard or Giovanni Manu at guard?
Well, he's not playing guard.
Miles Frazier because they've already said Gio. Hey, I see what he's trying to do there, Jeff. Ignore him.
No, it's just Miles Frazier.
Yeah.
Now,
He was trying to get you on a gotcha.
Let's go tackle now.
Well, no, Miles isn't playing. I'm not Miles. Give me the Gio.
Or Gio.
Or Gio.
Taylor Decker goes down this year. Left tackle. You go Gio over
probably. Probably Dan and then Gio.
They probably would put Dan in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Until
see where the boys land.
Until Klotz was trying to get a catch-up moment.
Giovanni Manouche goes out in training camp. Then they're going to make that change.
Just like Broderick Martin was.
But yeah, they knowing how the Lions operate, they'll probably. I think right now, June 23rd, probably throw Skip out there. What would I rather have? Of course, the guy you drafted in the 4th fucking round, Giovanni Manouche.
He's not ready though, Jeff. You don't do it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens in training camp. I'm excited. It's a month from now, so it's coming. We're not too far away. I can't wait for it. But yeah, Miles Frazier, I think he's going to be a long-time starter here in Detroit after this Graham thing kind of settles, and Graham gets older. And Tate Ratledge takes over center. I think you got a case, man. You're going to have an interior offensive line of Christian Mahogany, Tate Ratledge, and Miles Frazier. I do.
Yeah, I don't honestly. I think it's like close. I like the Miles Frazier one actually because once Graham's gone, you need I think Tate. I'm with Klotz on. I've switched obviously. Like Tate Ratledge is going to be the center this year, I think. And if Tate's at center, I think Graham's is just a matter of time before his.
Well, imagine Graham struggled early, like the first 4 games.
Yeah.
Then you have to really consider.
But it might not even.
Are we going to roll with 2 rookies in this thing?
I think Miles, though, I think he still has to kind of earn a spot at the end of the day, too.
If he's impressing people, if he's impressing the coach, then you have to.
I agree. I think Yodi last year, he was kind of that next guard up as well. I think if he steps up and ends up, Miles still has to beat him out. I think Tate's the one rookie who it's like he's probably going to get a job. But I think after that, you start looking at Tristan Colon as well.
That's another one. Yeah.
They do have guys to where it's like Miles just isn't going to get handed the keys. I think guys like Tate and stuff are, but I do think a guy like Miles still has to earn it, and he's going to have to go out there and work. And if he's impressed, like Christian Mahogany, look at him last year. He was a late pick, just like Miles Frazier was.
This training camp.
Yeah, and when he showed up, he impressed. So Miles could still be the same thing. I just think where he was picked, round guys that you brought in, Tristan Colon, Yodi, who's been in the building already. Those guys, you just have to beat them out. I think that's just the pecking order. And I think Tate, who was drafted a little bit earlier, they traded up for him. I think it's known like, hey, Tate Ratledge was one of the better guards in this entire draft at the end of the day. So people do understand that.
Actually, a good point too, Ben Blue. I also completely forgot Joe Tittman is a 6'6" center. Plays for the Jets, by the way. But I didn't know he was 6'6". So that actually that's interesting. So he's probably the tallest center, or at least
6'6" centers. That's
he's tied for the tallest center. If there's another one that's 6'6". So Tate being 6'6", he might be close to 6'7" though. He's a big dude.
Tate Ratledge is?
Yeah, he's 6'6", 6'6 and a half, dude.
Not familiar.
Tall glass water balloon.
I thought he's the same height as Frank.
Frank was tall though too. I think Frank was 6'5".
They're you're not going to notice 2 guys standing next to each other if it's 6'5", 6'6". If they're maybe Frank.
Yeah, when I looked at their measurements at when he got drafted and Frank retired, I was looking at trying to compare, and they were pretty much. Yeah. They were pretty close, to be honest.
Yeah, it is. I think
there was a couple things that were off.
Yeah, but I'm whether it's this year or not, I think Miles Frazier has a pretty good opportunity to kind of step in and work some things there. MC3 says, did they trade up for Miles too? Didn't they trade up for Miles too?
I don't know if they did.
That I don't know. That I'm not sure of.
I think it just means a little bit more when you're the higher rounds. I guess he was 5th, wasn't he? Or what was Tate, 3rd?
Tate was 2nd.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, it's just different. 6th round or 5th or 6th round to 2nd. It's just night and day difference.
Jamo says Sewell to left, Manu to right if Deck gets hurt. Yeah, I don't think they'd move it around that much. I think the last thing they want to do, even though Panay's capable of playing left tackle, is move him mid-game, not mid-game, but after a game. The next week he's playing the opposite side. I think they'll just keep Panay at right. Now, if there's an offseason to prepare for it, if they knew they were getting rid of Decker, I think there is a chance they should move him to left, but I don't think they would do it all right, this week's Decker's out, move to left. And then maybe it's 2 weeks and it's all right, you're back to right. It's I don't think they do that personally.
They did, by the way, they did trade up in the 5th for Miles Frazier. They also traded. Yep. I traded up for Isaac Tesla and then traded up for Miles Frazier. And they traded up, obviously, for Tate Ratledge in the second.
Let's see. Ben Blue says, I'd prefer to keep Mahogany at left guard, played his best there. Bill Buttlicker, I'm a Dr. Jeff. Dr. Buttlicker, you're absolutely right. Talking about Tyrese Halliburton and the calf thing. Appreciate that, Bill Buttlicker. Ben Blue also says, it looks like Tate Ratledge will be the starting center at some point. Risden said the Lions view him as a center. That's why they drafted him. He's because he can play center. Or he's capable of it. Peter Manning says Miles should start year 2 if we keep Tate at center. Miles should be better than Graham by the end of the year. Wow, by the end of the year? Damn.
I don't know. I think you just have. No, I wouldn't be shocked. I would be like, okay, but I still think like got to go out there and prove it. I don't think Miles is in the spot that Tate is. I think it's two separate.
No, he's not. But I'm saying like to compete.
So I don't want
Graham struggling. I think because I'll say this. Yodi, I like Yodi. I think he played pretty solid in the NFC Championship game. But we also watched the game. I think this year, right? I think it was this year he played where he had like freaking 5 holding penalties. So as much as Yodi's like a solid good, do I think that Miles Frazier could be better, quicker than Yodi? Yeah, I think he could probably beat him out.
Now, let me tell you guys about someone real quick. Colby Sorsdal. I'm kidding.
Now, could he take out Colby Sorsdal? I don't know. Probably not.
Imagine if somehow, some way, just Colby ends up winning a spot, and we're all just sitting here going, "We got to go delete clips quick."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Colby. I mean, again, rooting for him, man. We always root for the guys. It's just like we're just stating what we see with our eyes, which he's just not working out. You know, I don't think that's a controversial take.
And you always root for the guys because guess what? That means the team's better if he's good. If he works out, that means the team's getting better. It's a tough spot where going into year 3 last year, I don't think he played, or maybe he did play, but I don't remember him playing in a snap.
Yodi, do you remember that game? We did a watch party for it. Yodi had fucking 5 holding penalties. So bad.
Yeah, they could definitely. Hopefully Miles works out.
Just don't get all the holding penalties. I didn't know this either. MC3 Houdat says Graham played center when Goff had his perfect game week 4. So that by that metric, he's going to be perfect. Perfect for the entire year.
18 for 18.
Imagine that. Imagine like through the first 3 weeks, Jared Goff is like 72 for 72. That would be unbelievable.
Yeah, something about Graham, man. You know,
it's never Frank Ragnow. It was always Graham Glasgow.
It was always Graham.
Man, I don't disrespect Frank Ragnow. Don't do that to him.
I felt bad for saying that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel. You should.
Yeah, take that back, dude.
I did.
Burning Issues says, I think Ahmed's year 2 with Hutch will be like Sonic and Knuckles on the defensive side of the ball.
Boom. We turn to you.
No, listen, Burning Issues. I appreciate the positivity for that, but I don't think so. No. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you can't call it Sonic and Knuckles. David Montgomery was a starting running back for the Chicago Bears for years when they brought him in here as a free agent. And you drafted Jahmyr Gibbs top 12. Ahmed is, and it's nothing. I think Ahmed's going to be good. I think if you would say like a Sonic and Knuckles, it would be like if you brought in Zadarius Smith and you had Aiden Hutchinson. That's a Sonic and Knuckles comp. But Ahmed, by the end of the season, if he's playing like Zadarius and he's kind of putting those numbers up, then that conversation can be had. I don't think right now there's anything to stand on with it until we're able to actually see. It's like the coaches say, like you got to be able to see the pass.
Sonic and Knuckles is a pretty big comp.
I mean, that's the best running back duo in NFL history.
That's like probably not fair to even Ahmed.
Are we talking about? Yeah, you compare that. You're basically saying they're the best edge duo in NFL history, which isn't true.
Hey, like Corey said when he joined his brother, AH squared. Come on, AH squared. You got Ahmed Hassani, Aiden Hutchinson. I think they could be
A2O. Oh no, never mind.
I don't know about sickle and hammers. That's
sickle's a weird word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a sad word, like the sickle cell disease. I don't like that.
That's a wow.
Not what I was expecting, but sure, fair take.
Hold that one. Yeah, I think year 2 of Ahmed, you'll see a lot more, man. I think as the season goes on, he'll get better. That's the thing with guys that haven't been playing football for a while. It's like get him on the field, and especially with his kind of, there's still so much room for his game to grow that I think just throughout the season he'll already get better. But year 2, I really do. I'm excited for him. Year 2, year 1, I'm excited, but I think he can be really good year 2. I don't know about Sonic and Knuckles level. I think he'd be pretty good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about having a nickname though. I mean, you're talking about top defensive lineman duos in history get nicknames like that, and some don't. So it's like, yeah, I mean, unless Ahmed's maybe like defensive player of the year level, and you got 2 of them, hell, why not? Then you could throw some out there, but yeah, no, I don't think so. MC3 who that says, how about some Tim Patrick love year 2 in this system? How do we feel about the Tim Patrick? I see the wide receiver core thing we're going to talk about a little bit, just past Amon-Ra and Jamison Williams. You got Timmy P, Isaac Tesla, who apparently per Eric golfed with him. Said he's a really good golfer.
Oh, shout out to him.
Yeah, we did, dude. We showed some videos of they were just tossing the ball back and forth, and man's got hands, dude. And he said he's big. I kind of juiced me up a little bit. I know he was just in golfing with him, but kind of juiced me up.
Throwing him passes, he was hand like almost ripping them out of the air. That's basically with one hand.
By the way, too, Eric's about to. They're about to have so many good videos over there because he's golfing. I'm not going to give away all of the people he's golfing with. He's made a lot of videos with a lot of big time Lions players, and they're going to be putting some videos out soon. He's probably watching right now. Eric hit me up a while ago and said while he's working at night to watch Crunch Time, so he's probably listening right now. He might pop up here in a minute.
Yeah, that's they got some things. I mean, he's got some things in the arsenal, man. He does. So we'll see. But yeah, the wide receiver room past Amon-Ra and Jamo. I mean, I think you talk about depth at wide receiver. You're not looking around the league and looking at teams that have just like, but the Bucs obviously have a lot.
We did get in this argument last week about wide receiver.
Elite wide receiver 3, Tim Patrick.
Not okay. Klotz, this is where I don't ever know. I can't tell if you're trolling or if you're being a real ball knower, because dude, I reached out to some people that know a lot of football and had the conversation, and they all were on my side. Like, he's a very good wide receiver 3, but when we're talking about around the entire NFL, there's a lot of really very good wide receiver 3s out there. And I love Tim. But like, my vision with all of this is, hey, Tim is a good wide receiver 3. I would put him 15 to 20. And I'd made the list and sent the list out, and the list had 15 guys ahead of him. And it wasn't like it was like it was like this dude is just better than him. Now I think hold on a sec, because this is my vision here. I want to just give you my vision real quick, Klotz. All right. I think Isaac Tesla ends up being a top 5 wide receiver 3 in the NFL after next season. I think if they find it, and it sounds like at some point they're going to try and re-sign Jamo, I think Isaac Tesla ends up being like that third guy, like the Emeka Egbuka. Maybe not an Emeka Egbuka, because I think he could be a wide receiver 1 in the NFL. But I think at that level, to where you have your Mike Evans and Chris Godwin with Jamo and Amon-Ra, and I think that third guy, Isaac Tesla, I think he's going to end up being very good. And I think I know what Tim Patrick was at his peak. Isaac Tesla is going to be better than Tim Patrick now, like today's Tim Patrick, by 10, in my opinion.
I think Isaac Tesla will, without a doubt, be better than Tim Patrick. That's why they drafted him. But when I'm talking about like a wide receiver 3, if you pull up guys like, for example, if you pull up Emeka Egbuka, okay, he's a wide receiver 3, but really that dude's a wide receiver 2 or 1. When you look at Tim Patrick, he is a bone. Like, you're not expecting him to be a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1, and he knows his role at that wide receiver 3 spot. If Tim Patrick doesn't catch a pass, you don't have to worry about it, and he's one of the best blocking wide receivers, period, for this team. So when people are like, oh, pull up statistics, that's fine. Like, that's fine. Go ahead. That's not Tim Patrick's game. Tim Patrick's game is not going and getting you 600 yards. It's about when he gets thrown the ball 4 times, he's going to catch it 4 out of 4 times, give you 40 yards, and you know that is his role. When you look at some other guys, especially when there's injuries around the wide receiver core, like if you're going to pull up guys like anybody, not just you, Boom, but if you pull up like Ricky Pearsall, no shit, Ricky Pearsall is going to have more yards. No shit. Like, we're not asking Tim Patrick to be Ricky Pearsall. You're asking Tim Patrick to be the wide receiver 3 of this team. And if injury pops up, then go be the wide receiver 2 for a game or for a small stretch. But if you're asking me, like, people who are arguing about Josh Reynolds, Tim Patrick is better for this team than Josh Reynolds as far as what he can do on the field from a blocking standpoint, from a reliability standpoint. The only thing that kept Josh Reynolds has good hands, but it was the chemistry he had with Goff. And I think Tim Patrick going into an offseason with Goff, he's only going to be here for another year or two. Isaac Tesla will pass him. But when you look at what Tim Patrick does for this team, it might not show up on the stat sheet. But he's going to be a big role for this team. And I don't think it's just like, oh, Isaac Tesla rookie year is going to pass him right away. No, I don't think that's the case.
Okay, Klotz. I like Tim Patrick. Love Tim Patrick. But, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, how much glazing? I just love what he does outside of catching the ball. Like, I love the little things he does. Okay, yeah, he's good. He does it. He is a very good veteran wide receiver. He is very good at holding down his job. And I think as a wide receiver 3, if you can do that, which Tim Patrick is very good at, he is a very, very solid wide receiver. But you do have to take into account level of play at your wide receiver as well, wide receiver 3 as well. So there are guys who do the same thing as him, but have higher level of play, which is fine. I think for a wide receiver 3 in this offense, you have a 15th to 20th wide receiver 3 in that offense in the NFL. Very fine. Like, that's what you need. You don't need a top 5 wide receiver 3 in this NFL with Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Sam Laporta. You don't. And then you have Isaac Tesla coming up. He's a good wide receiver 3, but I'm not going to sit here and say he's elite. He's the best wide receiver 3 in the game. He does all the small things so well. This man's the best wide receiver blocking third option in the NFL. Like, dude, like, what are you doing? Are you just going to keep glazing, or are you going to be realistic? I thought you were the ball knower. I thought you were the ball knower. He's very good wide receiver 3.
I'm gonna just leave this here because I'm gonna get frustrated.
Can I name some? Come on now. We're talking. Come on, I'm not rage bait. We're having a good combo. Can I name and you know what? Klotz, I don't even know what I'm gonna ask you. I think I'm just gonna ask Jeff just because I want like a third party here, just so we can just go through it because I'm just interested. Can I name names for you, Jeff? And I don't want it to be who do you and this is, I want to make this very clear. And Jeff, I know you'll follow it because you're locked in. You understand? I want it better player. I don't want who blocks the best because that's his role. I want better wide receiver.
Can I ask a question? Are we going? And I know this, you're not going to like this, but I'm going to ask it anyway because Tim Patrick technically is like wide receiver 4 because Sam Laporta is getting 800 a year.
No, we're not doing that. It's just strictly
someone just had 600 yards last year. Is he better?
No, I think that counts. No, and
go on.
I think it has to be just strictly just like what wide receiver is better. It doesn't matter if a block.
Like nothing. Just take if I needed.
Wide receiver better. Marcus Valdez-Scantling.
I would take Tim Patrick.
Okay, Noah Brown.
Tim Patrick.
Luther Burden.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I get you, Luther. I don't know. He hasn't played yet.
Luther Burden. Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson, whoever you want to say their wide receiver 3 is.
I'll give you Romeo Doubs.
Jalen Naylor. Vikings.
Tim Patrick.
That's a tough one. Ray McLeod. Love
Tim
Ray.
Patrick.
I guess Adam Thielen.
Yep.
Yeah, you take Thielen.
Brandon Cooks.
Ooh, that's
come on now.
That's a close one.
It's probably Brandon Cooks. It probably is.
Yeah. Maybe you give the slight edge to Cooks.
Emeka Egbuka.
I'll go Emeka.
Tutu Atwell.
Tim Patrick.
There's a couple of these where I'm just like, there's no way. Ricky Pearsall.
Well, we just disagree. I would rather have Tim Patrick than
Ricky Pearsall.
Ricky Pearsall.
Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer.
Nick Westbrook-Hakain, who just had like 9 touchdowns.
This is where you're going to hate me. I'll go Tim Patrick.
That's wrong because Nick Westbrook-Hakain had a huge year.
He had touchdowns and everything.
You're taking him over Tim Patrick. I guess
I am taking him now because
that's when I had to step in and I'll just say Booner gets to add one to the list.
No, I'm going to get Tim Patrick.
Alan Lazard.
Tim Patrick. Alan Lazard, really, bro. Like, I like Alan Lazard, but like, let's not act like it's like Alan Lazard the GOAT. You know, he's fine. He's good.
That's crazy.
Boom, but like this is my thing.
Hold on, Klotz, we're still going. I still have 10 guys on. Relax.
You're
You're
listing off guys. Can
I please?
You've been talking. Let me just.
I'm going through a list right now. Wait until the list is over. I'm trying to make a. All right. You know what? You want to do the next segment? Jeez, let me do this. Hold on. DeAndre Hopkins or Rashad Bateman. Hold on. Let me finish the list. I said let me finish the list. Let me finish the list, man. DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins.
Andre Losavas out of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Tim Patrick.
No, you're taking out Andre. He's good.
Okay, like this is what I'm saying, Boone. Is it my
Deontay Johnson?
Tim Patrick.
Okay.
Even though
Christian Kirk / Jaden Higgins. One of those two.
Christian who?
Christian Kirk / Jaden Higgins.
I'll give the others that.
Josh Downs out of Indy.
Ooh, I like Josh Downs.
Hollywood Brown.
Jalen
Tolbert.
Go Tim Patrick. See,
Darius Slayton.
Really,
Darius Slayton.
Darius Slayton.
Okay, so let me just. There was probably 7 or 8, maybe even 9, where me and you were a little like half and half, like How many do you think I wrote down here?
I don't know. Tell me.
13. You have 13 wide receiver 3s over Tim Patrick. That's my point this whole time. It's just there are dudes in front of him saying he's elite, like 14, 15, 16. If you want to throw him in there, okay, that's fine with me. Saying he's elite and he should be top 1, 2, 3, and you're like naming wide receiver 1, 2, 3. And it's like, Klotz, if you want to say, well, these guys were wide receiver 1s, Tim Patrick had big years in his career too. And now he has to take a step back as the wide receiver 3, 4. Like, it's like that with a lot of guys around the NFL. You could have went out and gotten DeAndre Hopkins and not gotten Tim Patrick, and you have him over him. You could have went and got some of these guys. It's the same thing with your little Derek Barnes argument. There are probably guys you could upgrade. He's not the best of the best at wide receiver 3. He is very good in your offense. He blocks well. He runs routes well. When his number's called, he locks in. Ryan Aiden just put it in there. He fits very good in this offense. So you roll with him. Is he elite? No, but he fits and he's good for your offense. I just can't keep hearing the elite. I think Isaac Tesla, if you think Isaac Tesla can take his job in the next year, then obviously you don't think he's that elite at the end of the day.
Okay.
I will say this about Tim Patrick, though. Couple spots back than where I had him, for sure. I had 7 to 10 range. You said 13. It's probably maybe I should.
You're 13 guys in front of him,
so I'd probably go 10 to 13. I have now moved.
Yeah, well, you have to. According to this, you would have him at 14. So probably 13 to 15
range. But I think he's
which I think is fair. Like if that's the argument, fair. I just the elite being like glazing of it, be like this guy's top 5 wide receiver 3. Like, dude, no, there are very good wide receiver 3s in the NFL currently, very good. And then I'm not taking away from Tim. I like Tim Patrick. I think he's going to be very good for this offense this year. We don't have, could upgrade.
Yeah. You want to respond earlier, Klotz? You want to say a response?
No. Boone's got to get the segment, so we roll.
Oh, come on, dude. I said I had a list to do, and you just tried to yell in front of the list. I was trying to get it out. I was trying to make the point.
I'm going to just cool down for a second. We roll.
Cool down.
Yeah, I will say this about Tim Patrick too. The blocking stuff, you want to factor that in. I don't mind that. I think his role with the Lions, like you said, is perfect.
Perfect. It's a good fit.
It's a perfect fit. It's a guy who right before he joined the Lions had 3 straight 700+ yard seasons. So he's good. We'll see. A couple of those two, we'll see. Like Luther Burden could be a bust, and that'll change. I don't know. Or Luther Burden could be really good. But a couple of those were rookies, which kind of put me in a tricky position.
Just one. I think it was just one rookie.
Well, you said Higgins. You said Higgins, and then
that was really Christian Kirk because
whoever it is, yeah, it's
great. I didn't know I forgot they had Christian Kirk, so that's like their 3rd and 4th option is Christian Kirk and then Jane Higgins, which is crazy.
Yeah, the Burden might be good. I don't know. All right, we'll see with that.
And that's not even me counting like Romeo Doubs and Christian Watkins is their 3rd, 4th, and you could argue a healthy Christian Watson. The problem he just doesn't stay healthy is the problem.
Hey, let's get to our over-unders NFC North edition. All right, let's because I've been waiting for this. I just have, and yeah, I know you're a Bears fan, but let's get through this. We can even do other. We can kind of have a little fun with it.
I got the NFC North today. Next week we'll do a different division every week leading up to the season.
All right, give me the over-unders. What are we working with here?
Let's start with Jeff Iafrate's Chicago Bears. Over-under. And listen, it was weird. I went on FanDuel to do it today. They have a bunch of different win totals. They don't just have the one now where it's just this one. They have 3 different ones. So they have like the main one and then a win over and a win under to where you can get different odds. But the one that was right in the middle, basically even money either way, was over under 8.5 wins for the Chicago Bears team. How are we feeling about 8.5?
Let me talk to you guys for a second. So I've already stated on this show before that I think the Bears are going to be second in this division. I think it's a very good division. I think the Lions are going to win this division. I don't trust the Packers, and I'm not as high on JJ as you guys are, even though I love Kevin O'Connell. So I think that second spot's probably going to be a 10-win team if I had to make an early guess. And I think the team that is going to be right there, I think the Vikings will be in that conversation, but I'm going to go with the Bears also in that conversation. Give me the over 8.5. I think they win at least 9. If you're going to be second in the division, you got to win at least 9 games. So I'm going over.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with under. I think they're third. I've been saying I think it goes Lions, Vikings, and I think Bears and Packers will be fighting for that 4th spot. And it's not going to be like a 5-12 team like we've been seeing. I think they go from a 5-win team. They're going to have some good games, but they're going to have some learning moments, and they have a tough schedule as well. So I'm going to go 8 wins for the Bears.
They do got a tough schedule. I mean.
Yeah, I think really I could be wrong. I think the whole NFC North is pretty underwater with the schedule. Yeah. They all have pretty gauntlets. And I think the last team placed last year was the Bears, wasn't it? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, they were.
Yeah, so they're playing some 4th place teams as well. So I don't know what the strength of schedule is for each team, but I'm guessing the Bears, if they're playing a fourth place schedule, they would have maybe the easiest. So I'm going to go over on this. I think they get to 9 wins this year. I do. I think there's going to be one team I have for this NFC North that goes under, and I think it's the team that finishes last in this division. As of right now, we're locking those in August, but as of right now, in my mind, the team that I think there's a team that's going to be last, I'm going to go under with. So I'm going to go over. I think they're going to find a little bit of I think they're going to figure something out this year with Ben Johnson in the offense. I don't think it's going to be pretty right away, and it's going to be a 12-13 wins, but I think 9 with what they have in place and the offensive line now and the defense that they have. And Dennis Allen. I think the Dennis Allen thing is just so underrated. Yeah. Especially with the defense that they have, dude.
I think it's the defense, but I also think he's been a head coach. I think it's great for Ben. He'll be around someone that's been a head coach in this league. He's been a coach, and
it's another person. And I'm sure Dennis as well knows Dan pretty well. I don't know if they coached together in New Orleans because obviously Dennis was the head coach in New Orleans. I don't know
he was the DC there too.
Was he the DC when Dan was there? I wonder if he was. So it's
I don't
know. Potentially similar kind of programs that they were in New Orleans there. If Dennis was under Sean Payton, so kind of a similar feel. So I'm going to go over though. I think they get 9 this year. Next one, over under 9.5 for the Green Bay Packers. Where are you guys going with this one?
Wait, what was the number?
9.5.
Oh my god! Give me the under. I think the Packers win at most 9 games. I think they'll be right on the line. This is what I see with the Packers. I see a team that everyone's looking at and going, they're the Packers. It's the brand. They're going to win a lot of games. They'll win 11, 12 games because they're the Packers. But the thing I struggle with is how I think there are some question marks regarding Jordan Love. I thought at moments last year, there were definitely moments where you said, okay, this is weird. The year prior, he played really well. He's had a little shaky year, even though statistically he would have games where he would play well, especially that Lions game, actually, where they scored a lot of points. But I think this year, the Packers, they didn't do much in the offseason. I don't think they got significantly better. I think they're about the same. I thought the rest of the division got better, and I think the Packers slightly regress. I have them at about 8-9 wins, which Packers fans will be furious about. But I just think there'll be a little bit of regression. The run that Matt LaFleur's been on, I think they've won 10 plus
unbelievable
games. So many. I mean, he's done a really good job. But I think this is the first year where they kind of take a step back and they're like, shit, we got to start making some moves here. Maybe go get a legit wide receiver 1, or maybe Matthew Golden takes that and they go make another trade. But maybe trade for a corner. That can happen too. So I'm going to go under on the Packers. I just not very high on the Packers, man. Just not.
Yeah, I'm going under as well. I think, like I said, Bears, Packers are going to be fighting for 3rd or 4th, and I think that's going to be under 9 wins for both of those teams. I think both of them honestly can finish with 8 wins, but their defensive side of the ball, it's going to have a bunch of question marks. They got some young pieces. I know they got Xavier McKinney, but Rashawn Gary's basically fallen off a cliff compared to what his prime was. Kenny Clark's getting older. Devontae Wyatt's nice. I like Edgerrin Cooper, but on the outside, they have nobody. And you're in the NFC North with Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. They're going to be getting cooked, and offensively, it's going to be a week-to-week basis of what you're going to get. I think they're going to be floating around 500, probably miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on this one, boys. Give me the under. I think maybe I'm a little different. I'm just not sold on this Jordan Love thing. I'm really not. I think he's just too inconsistent every year. It's just good, bad, good, bad. He goes through these stretches where he wins. I'm out on the Jordan Love thing right now in Green Bay, so I'm going to go under.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone can say right now how the Packers are over, except Packers fans. I mean, maybe they crack 10, but I'm not confident enough in that number to say over. So I'm just not doing it. And even like bottom line, I'm quietly optimistic about Love. I mean, it's like he's talented. Josh Jacobs helps, but you thought he would have a massive year with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. I don't. So yeah, I'll go under then. Is that we all agree there?
Yeah, I went under. I went over with the Bears, under on the Packers. I think the Packers finished last in the division. Yeah. With probably 8 or 9 wins, which I think with 9 wins, maybe have a chance at a wild card down the stretch, but I think they fall just short potentially.
They might even win they can win anywhere from 7 to 9. I just don't know what the number is. We'll come up with it and get our actual record predictions, but somewhere in the 7 to 9 range. That's where I'm feeling. Maybe something's going to happen to the Packers. Just see. All
right, next one here. Minnesota Vikings over under 8.5. Can I just start this one real quick? Because I know what you guys are probably going to say here, or at least I know what Jeff's going to do. The man over there is I already know which way he's going with this. Minnesota Vikings. Give me the over. I think this Vikings team wins 10 games. I do. I think they win double-digit games. I think they have more than the Bears. I second in the division, potentially fighting again versus the Detroit Lions to win that division with J.J. McCarthy, depending on how slow of a start they get going to with him. But I think what Kevin O'Connell's done in Minnesota, just constantly anyone in and out of there, they just keep putting together a winner, and they just keep finding a way. I respect it. I don't think you can't not respect it. You have to respect what Kevin O'Connell's done over there, and they just keep adding pieces offensively. They revamped that old line for JJ, and obviously Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones had a big year, and he's going to only just keep. I think Aaron Jones with a new quarterback just gets a little bit better, and then defensively they just keep adding pieces as well. So I think the Vikings go over. I can't believe it's at 8.5. I might take an alternate line and take 9.5 with that number and get plus money on that and take 10 plus.
Telling you something, hey Boone.
Why is the Bears 8.5 then? If you're saying there's something there with the Vikings at 8.5?
No, because it's closer. It's a lot closer than people think. Not you. You obviously feel that way, but I'm saying the Vikings should be. They're far away, like 9. They just won 14 games, and they have JJ, who not everyone. I think many people would be pretty excited about JJ. He could be better than Sam. That line should be at like 9.5, 10.5. Huh? Why 8.5? What does Vegas know that we don't?
Vegas isn't always right. Let me tell you something, son.
Hey, check my fan. Vegas is right a lot. All right, especially when it comes to UFC fights, they're right.
Do they win? Well, this isn't UFC. This is NFL. We find their mistakes in the NFL. We found one of their mistakes.
Give me the over. But by you win 9.
All that hype for what? All that hype for what?
I don't think they're bad. I just think the Bears edge them out. So that's it. It'll be the battle for that second spot. So yeah. Sorry.
The Vikings are not going to be mid. Defensively, they're going to be elite defense on the defense side of the ball. J.J. McCarthy just doesn't have to throw 2 to 3 interceptions a game, and they're most likely going to win. And there's going to be games where he does throw 2 or 3 interceptions.
Bowling Green.
And that's when it bites him in the ass. But the running game between Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason is going to be really good. Their offensive line at this point, I think, is the best in the NFC North. Hate me all you want. I love Penei Sewell. There's a lot of question marks on Detroit Lions offensive line. If you take a look at that Minnesota Vikings offensive line, it's going to be really fucking good. And then the coaching staff. I understand that Kevin O'Connell, as far as the playoffs, there's some question marks there, but regular season, he's had really good regular seasons with the Minnesota Vikings. And I think that this roster up to this date right now is the best it has ever been. And they didn't have TJ Hawkinson for a large part of last season. He's going to be back. He's healthy. Now, he might not be prime TJ Hawkinson, but he's going to be a damn good target for J.J. McCarthy to have there in the middle of the field. And then, oh, shit, there's Justin Jefferson. There's Jordan Addison. There's Jalen Naylor. There's all these other guys. They got Rondell Moore as well. They're going to be a good team.
I mean, I think they'll be, I think they'll be good. The NFC North, I think, will have good teams. I just, I'm sorry. This like, I think it's just maybe I'm fading the public on this JJ stuff. I think we're going to get to a point where week 7, or maybe you're not even week 7. I'll go like week 10, where maybe we're all looking. We're going to have a conversation on this show where we're like, is JJ holding them back? Like this roster is really good. Like what's going on with this? What's going on with the Vikings?
I mean, JJ's going to hold them back. Like JJ, if he doesn't take them on a playoff run, is holding them back because he's a rookie. Like I understand he's a second-year guy, but he's not going to win the NFC North. That's a roster that if you were to plug in probably any top 10 quarterback into, that's a Super Bowl contender this year. And you're plugging in a very inexperienced guy that has a lot of potential. He's going to have good and high moments, but at the end of the day, it's going to just probably be, in totality, a good season. It's not going to be really good. It's not going to be great. There's going to be highs and lows, but that roster is going to be able to prevent them from losing a lot of those low moments for JJ.
They'll minimum win 9 games. Minimum.
I think part of it too is Sam Darnold. I don't think Sam Darnold's a world-beating quarterback. I think he's a game manager. He's obviously last year had an impressive year against the Lions. Didn't play necessarily well, but I think people see the Sam Darnold stuff. You guys brought up the Nick Mullins thing, and now that parlays into JJ, and it's like, well, if Sam Darnold, they won 14 games and he had an incredible year. It's like, well, JJ's gotta have a pretty good year, right? Like it all has to line up. Like sometimes, a quarterback can struggle in the system. Like it's not like this guy's.
Yeah, but like when you're doing it, when you're betting on it, Jeff, it's like, and you're the one that says the up down theory all the time. This would be the up down theory, but you are one all the time too that you say the up down theory. You don't follow the up down theory because you're like, but this shows me the up down theory isn't true. And all of the evidence that we have from Kevin O'Connell and the Minnesota Vikings is everyone they bring in, they find out and it works in the system.
You have vets.
His system, yeah, but the thing is, it's like you have vets. JJ is way more athletic and more skilled than those guys. Okay, it might take him a little bit longer. He's already been in the system a year. He just hasn't played a regular season game. He's played in the preseason in the system. He's been in practice for the system. He's traveled with them in the system to where he's able to get on the field, see reps, walk through practices, and be involved for a whole season already. Essentially, Jeff, you know what you tell me all the time that you love? Redshirt years. Giovanni Manu, redshirt year, redshirt year, redshirt year. He essentially had a redshirt year in Kevin O'Connell's system, and he got to learn it. Mentally, exactly. But what does he have different from Sam Darnold and all those other quarterbacks that brought in? What's the difference? Because you're talking about mentally there, but on the other side, it's like, hey, he has way more skill and he's a better player than all those guys. So it's like he's got the mental reps and he has more skill than them. It's like, yeah, it might take some time. I'm with you. It might take a little time to get this thing going a little bit. But to me, it's, hey, as long as while it's taking time, they hold it down and he's going 500. And then at some point this year when it does click and they start winning games more, they just get to 9 games. Like, that's not that crazy to me. 9-8. You don't think 9-8? That seems simple for them.
No, I think that's fine. I'm saying we're really talking about like an 11-win team, something like that. Like a second. Yeah. 9 is fine. I don't hate. That's fine.
I think they'll be second just based off of difficulty of schedule. And like the Packers, I think fall off a little bit, drop off, and then the Bears is just where they were last year to this year, new coach. That's more of a progression, in my opinion, than it is for a whole already system in place already.
I mean, Josh McCown, he told us at the combine he's ready. So
I trust Josh McCown with my life, man.
Yeah. I mean, diggity dogs. KOC is great, but people pretend like he turned scrubs into Tom Brady. bad quarterback.
Well, he did just win 14 games with Sam Darnold.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, it's a fact. There's it's a fact.
Know. It's like then people want it. Okay, that's the thing. You get into these situations. I'm just saying where you're going to say, well, he did it all and Sam Darnold deserves no credit. And then when JJ struggles, who are we blaming?
What do you expect out of Sam
You
Darnold?
blame JJ.
Mike McDonald, though.
What?
What do you expect out of Sam Darnold under Mike McDonald this year?
What do I expect him to be basically what he is. Like, I think he put up better numbers because of the weapons he had, but I think he'll have like a.
We haven't even talked about that with JJ.
But do you think that there's a consistency with Kevin O'Connell where he maximizes his quarterback's ability regardless? Because there's been stretches where Jordan Addison has been hurt, TJ Hockenson has been hurt. Their running game before they got Aaron Jones, they had Cam Akers running the ball. Like for a quarterback, like they haven't had the best offensive line, but yet they're constantly just in games, winning games. And there's not many games where you're like blaming it on the quarterback.
No. I get you. I think my thing with it, as all I'm saying is, people underestimate when you have quarterbacks like Kirk Cousins or Sam Darnold. And I know people are going to laugh at this, but Sam's been in different systems. He's a vet. He's been around the league. That I think when you kind of have, when you're with a coach like Kevin O'Connell and he's painting a picture or he's telling you what to paint, it's probably easier to understand and comprehend because of the experience you've had with other systems. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's still technically like a rookie. Mentally, yes, but physically, that's the thing I'm looking at too, is like he was out with an ACL all year. So he wasn't out there like throwing around with JJ and everything or whoever he was throwing around with. I'm sure recently he's gotten back into it, but that's wrong. I think people underestimate having a guy who's been around. Rather than like, I don't think we've never seen Kevin with a guy that's basically a first-year starter. Like, I'm curious how that goes. I think it's not saying Kevin's gonna hurt him or nothing, but I'm saying I think JJ will struggle a little bit.
I do think like I said, there's going to be growing pains. Like I think that's inevitable. I just think with the roster that they have, you're able to withstand those. I do think that. Yeah, I think they're going to be able to find ways to win certain games within those struggles. And then when they do finally get this thing down and they figure out what this offense is all about, I think then that's when things kind of take off a little bit.
Hey, by the way, Tigers, according to the MLB Power Rankings, they just came out with best team in baseball. Come on.
I mean, they just keep getting put there.
Now, I will say, I don't know if I agree with this. I mean, the way they've been playing over the last couple of games, are we gonna just like not mention that or you just
no? I will be honest.
I don't know if I'd put them one right now, but still, I don't care. They should be top 2, top 3. I don't really give a shit because they've given up. I mean, they beat Tampa, which awesome. They beat them 9-3, but the prior games they gave up 8 or more runs, which is pretty tricky. It's a tough one to be number 1 after that stretch of games. But I'm not going to be mad about the Tigers at 1. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to make an argument and say it's clear that they're 1, but
I am with you a little bit. The last stretch of games that they were on versus like Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Tampa, those are, in my opinion, I mean, maybe not Cincy, but like even Tampa, I feel like there's like, you should have won those series and you almost got swept by Tampa. And I know they're not like scrubs. They're still, you see them, they're 8th there. But like, in my opinion, like, dude, if you want to be a World Series contender, man, win those series versus top 10 teams. Like, go out there and show something. And in the last 3 series, I think they're like 4-5, which I am shocked they're still the number 1 team in MLB Power Rankings after going 4-5 in the last basically 9 games. 5-5, I think, in your last 10 games, I think is the record. So it's not great. Scott Harris is gonna have to figure something out. Like at the end of the day,
it's not even just that. The Mets, like the Mets are on this, and the Mets are ranked 5th. And I mean, I think over their last like 10 games, they've won like 1 game. I think they're like
so maybe it might just be teams are struggling right now. I don't know, but the Mets they've played the Tampa Bay Rays, got swept. Played the Braves, got swept. Phillies lost 1-2.
They got swept, but they got swept twice.
I just think
against the Phillies. So
maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the chat, you guys can tell me. I just think, hey, you see the stretch of games, you do know, like, hey, we need another bat. Hey, we need someone in the bullpen. Hey, we need another starting pitcher potentially. Like Jack Flaherty's been so bad the last 2 starts, dude. So
Flaherty,
bad. He's supposed to be our second best pitcher, and it's just like the dude's just like I think it's like 4-8, 4-7 in his games. And it's like, dude, what are we? I don't know. I just see you have to
experience. Like, it's really an experience because.
But last year he wasn't like that. That's why it's just so confusing, man.
Well, there's even games like there's games where you're like, wow, and then there's a stretch of games where you're like, this guy fucking stinks. You know, like there's both. And I guess that's kind of what he is. But yeah, the Tigers won. I'm not going to be upset. I'm very happy. I think anytime you see a Detroit sports team getting credit on like a national level, especially league level, like MLB power rankings from the MLB,
feels cool. Good.
I have no. If the Pistons lost like 5 straight and we're still ranked 1 hypothetically, I would not complain. I would be ecstatic. Would I say they don't deserve it? Probably. But am I going to complain? Fuck no.
Dude,
this is awesome.
What's crazy too? Riley Green. The last couple, this guy's playing like an MVP.
Oh yeah,
dude, this guy is raking. I had told you guys I have the me and Caleb have put in his home run bet over 21.5 before the season. I think he's at like 17 now. I think we need 5 more or 16 or 17, and he had 2 the other night. First Tampa, dude, like last game 3 for 4, 2 extra base hits. Day before he was 0 for 3, but before that 3 for 3 with 2 home runs and 4 RBIs. 1 for 5, 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 1 for 5, 2 for 5. Like this guy is just out here versus Baltimore, 2 for 4. The Cubs, 2 for 4. This guy's just raking, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He has some games where it's like, where is he at? But like this guy going 3 for 3 with 2 home runs, or going 4 for 5 with multiple extra base hits. You're just dominating at that point.
Yeah, I mean,
put some respect on the guy's name around the league at this point.
It's nice. It's nice to see that Riley Green is absolutely raking. I mean, it's tough to think that it's tough to think that Spencer Torkelson, been a little quiet recently. Just in terms of hitting home runs, I think his average on the month of June isn't great either. I think he's batting like 175. Oh no, that was last month actually. Yeah, so I'm rooting for Torque. He's got 16 homers. I mean, he's right behind Riley Green. They both he's got 17. Torque's got 16. So, I mean, hey, they still got a lot of depth. There's still time to add. We don't have to have this World Series conversation again. It's probably going to get tiring, but it's just great.
I just think you're there, man. You're there.
Yeah,
Riley Green needs a little bit of respect around the MLB as well.
Yeah, he does.
I think that name needs to be name needs to be talked about nationally.
By the way, drop your questions for Mailbag. We'll get to that. Randall Smalls at Caleb the Tigers probably have the top 6-7 prospects are off the table.
Listen, and Caleb's in the chat. Caleb, tell me if I'm wrong, dude. I'm saying this. Go out and just trade for players. Like, use your prospects. You're not going to be able to use all of them in the future. Make some moves. Go get me a pitcher. Go get me another bat. I don't think you can sit back and make one move. If Scott Harris just makes one move this trade deadline, I'm throwing my computer across this room in here. We're smashing it.
Hey, by the way, El Guapo, he thank you for the $2. Says, would you guys give up your nuts to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely not.
No, kind of. I mean,
no.
The generations need to carry on.
You don't have to think about that.
The problem is, Mike Vrabel has asked this question and said, yes, he already has children. Do not have children yet.
Yeah,
now, after I get maybe a little Booner, we can have the conversation and I would be willing to do it. Maybe what we could do is say, hey, Super Bowl this year, after I have kids, you can have both of my nuts. Have them.
Well,
take them.
Yeah. I think El Guapo's asking it's a serious question. Both of them, no.
Can you live without both of them?
I think you could probably get one. I think you can maybe get away with one, but no. I want a family.
Yeah.
And as much as I love the Lions, no.
Steve said, Steve said he'll step up for us. Appreciate it, Steve.
Steve. I will sacrifice my nuts. Thanks, Steve.
I've got kids and a wife. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's a real one. No. I'm sorry. What is the line with these questions? What would you give up for a Super Bowl? Like, when do we draw a line? Is it giving away your nuts? Like, that's got to be the line, right?
I would do again if I had kids. I would do it.
It's got to be the line. It's just it has to be. No, I'm not doing that.
No.
Caleb says there's probably 3 to 4 prospects I wouldn't trade in the farm, trade in the farm, but it should be a free for all other than that. I mean, Caleb was coming on dropping some bars about who the Tigers have waiting in the wings, man. They got some dogs.
They do. They're the best. They have the best minor league teams in the baseball right now.
Brandon says, "I'll give my left nut." Appreciate it, Brandon. And another guy sacrificing for a Super Bowl. Rando, mailbag. Could you guys see the Pistons make small trades to move up in the draft and select Maxim Renaud, power forward?
Renaud.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar.
I will say this. Do I think they move up Rando and try and make a trade for, a top guy, or at least not a top guy, but, move up to select somebody? I do. I think that could happen. I do think, because Trajan seems like the type of GM. You see this with like Brad Holmes and Steve. I know I can't believe I'm mentioning it, but Stevie Y, where if they like somebody, like they like somebody,
Yeah.
I think that's Trajan too. Like if he really likes somebody and he doesn't think he'll be there when the Pistons select in the second round, do I think he'll trade up for him? Yeah, I do.
To be fair, we haven't seen Trajan draft yet. He came in after the draft last year, I believe, didn't he?
No, he drafted Ron Holland.
Oh, okay. So
you've only
what
seen
it was is he got the job like right before the draft.
Yeah, he drafted Ron and Bobby Klintman.
Okay. Bobby, I thought Bobby was going to be good, man. I guess he's still developing, but yeah, I mean, if they love someone, if they love someone, I would say I wouldn't be mad if they moved up. I mean, where you're at, I don't think using assets to trade up to get a draft pick is going to help you next year, in my opinion. If you're making a trade, man, go get someone who can.
Oh, these questions
can help.
We're going to answer all these questions. By the way, there's some tough ones, but I still am going to put it on the screen. Let's see. Ben Blue, mailbag. Let's say you put Tim Boyle on an offense with George Kittle, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Saquon Barkley, and the Eagles O-line. Is he magically an MVP candidate, or is he still bad?
Honestly, I think he's maybe not MVP candidate, but they're winning some games because you don't have to throw the ball downfield. You can set it up, man. Saquon the ball, get Jamar chasing a couple screen plays.
I would kind of want to see that.
That would be great. It depends who's the play caller. Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, is it Kevin O'Connell?
No, that's funny. What a scenario, dude. Should try that on Madden one day.
Mailbag, would the boys spend 365 days straight in 90 feet? Nope. No.
Yes, I would.
If I had a really good AC at home, I would.
No.
Yeah.
Are we talking? No, don't make it. No.
If I had supplies, I would do it outside in 95-degree weathers, but I would need the supplies. Like it's like surviving on an island. Like you're telling me, like people in Florida, like there's people who live in like areas who are 100 degrees year round. I would do it for a Super Bowl. Yeah, if I had to do that, yeah, put a couple live streams on.
No air conditioning and no loopholes.
Well, not a loophole, but I need supplies like water and stuff to last. I'll go out and make some fans out of like trees and stuff. That'd be good. It's like surviving on an island. Like, what do you need to be on an island?
I mean, that's
as long as I got all the stuff I need, I would do it.
What about this one? Huh? Would you let your wife or girl sleep with another person for a Super Bowl?
No,
I can't make that decision. I don't have one.
Hypothetically.
No, there's no hypothetical.
Oh, you can't cop out of this one. I know. Yeah, that's a brutal scenario.
Oh, that's funny.
Like that's no, absolutely.
Tucked for a ring.
That's no. No Adam 22s around here, man. Hell no. Jesse, mailbag, Booner. So after this past weekend, where does Hill got picked apart from Roundtree? Does Sweet Dreams have to work his way back like Sugar? Are both guys overhyped? By the way, Roundtree got destroyed.
I didn't even see.
Absolutely destroyed. Or wait.
The way around.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of
you had me so confused. I was like, no, he didn't.
Jamal Hill. Sorry. Jamal Hill
got
absolutely destroyed.
Yes.
I'm thinking of the Usman fight. That's
to be fair, Jesse did put out. My bad. I typed that out so bad.
Yeah. Jamal Hill. I think the Pereira knockout. I think him getting absolutely knocked. Well, I think that was a first round knockout.
Yes,
Pereira too, and it was quick as hell. He just hasn't really looked the same.
Since that injury, dude, the Achilles, man,
and he
killed him.
I think he's on a downhill spiral a little bit. And I love Jamal Hill. He trained out in Grand Rapids. Actually, Easy put me on a Jamal Hill. I started watching him. But yeah, he's I don't even know if it's a Sean situation. Like, I have more confidence in Sean bouncing back than
I agree.
So yeah, I don't know about that one. But Roundtree's a legit contender, dude. He's legit. Roundtree.
Those Achilles.
Because Roundtree gave Alex Pereira an actual fight. I don't know if he did. Jamal Hill just got knocked out. So I want to see Roundtree move up a little bit.
Wonder who his next fight will be.
Yeah, he'll fight. I mean, I see Yuri. ETN said, yeah, right. It might even be Yuri versus Roundtree. That'd be a good one. Let's see here. I think we got one more. Right here. Burning issues. Mailbag, do you guys think Manu is really Decker's replacement, and when does he have to truly show it, this coming season or next, or do you feel like he will be another Broderick Martin?
Jeff?
I think if in all seriousness, I know I said earlier, like, what do I see the Lions doing? I can see them pulling some shit and putting Dan Skipper in. I've already stated where I'm coming from. I think it's this year. Like, I think you have to, I have confidence that if someone were to go down, I think after training camp and as the season goes, I think you'll hear a lot of pro Giovanni Manu stuff coming out. And I think he'll be more in a position to play after Decker, because I think if you draft him, like, you give him a year, I don't think this is like a 3-year development thing. I think it should be a year. He has 2 off seasons. I think he should be ready. I think if Decker were to go down for a game or 2, I think Manu should be the next man up, not Dan Skipper. Not at all. I don't care what the Lions will do. I'm just telling you. In my opinion, he should be ready at this point. So Hank Fraley.
I hope you're right. I do hope you're right. I'm interested to see how. I think it just depends on training camp.
I'm excited to see him in the preseason. He should play a lot, man. Play him in the preseason.
I think the offseason, Dan said it, like the year 1 to year 2 jump. I think the offseason is going to tell a lot in training camp. That was like with Colby last year. Like, if Colby came into year 2, big offseason, and he really didn't give himself a chance. But like Gio played with he practiced with Taylor all offseason, so he got those reps in. And then he was working out with him.
Yeah, it just takes it in. I get the British Columbia stuff. I do. Klotzy, I understand that. He didn't play at LSU or Alabama. But I think after about a year, like, I don't think Miles Frazier, if I'm being honest, I don't think Miles Frazier has to wait a year. I think he's ready. He played like I get that. I understand the difference. Like, Giovanni might have to wait a year. But after a year, I mean,
you would think the size and skill.
You would think, like, like, I mean, he's physically ready. It's like more of a mental, maybe some. It's like little things, like how fluid he is. Like little things, just like things Hank Fraley can teach him a little bit. But if he's not ready this year, boys, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I just
think if you're the Detroit Lions and you want to be taken seriously and take yourself seriously as a Super Bowl contender, you go into next year's draft and you draft an offensive tackle on day 1 or day 2.
Yeah, I mean,
and you let that guy sit behind Taylor Decker for a year, because I understand Mailata's out there, but you're asking somebody to make the NFL, you have to be the 1% of the 1%. And you look at Giovanni Manu and what his upbringing is as far as the NFL talent, it's the 1% of the 1% of how unlikely it is to pan out. And I just think if you're talking about the left tackle spot, or if you move Panay to left tackle and the right tackle spot where Panay has been for his whole career with the Detroit Lions, that's a huge role to step into. Are you taking Giovanni Manu? Are you more confident in Giovanni Manu after 2 years, or taking a guy out of the Big Ten who's been starting for the last 2 years, or the SEC? And in my opinion, the safer, more reliable option, not saying that he has 6'8", no gut upside, but if you're coming in day 2 out of the SEC or the Big Ten, chances are, let's look at Tate Ratledge, you have a lot of upside. If they were to even take a tackle in the first round next year, I would not be upset with it. They could have taken Gray Zabel this year. None of us would have been upset with that, because even if they were to take a center as well, he can play tackle. And I know that he fits better for the center spot. But you see all the time in the first round, that's where you hit on tackles. And
I wouldn't be mad at a tackle.
We've seen them hit at wide receivers in the 4th round, safeties in the 2nd round, tight ends in the 3rd round. Offensive tackle is a premium position. So this is a scenario where I could see it biting in the ass, where you're not getting what you pay for. You're trying to find a shortcut and get a good premium position at a low cost. You don't do that when you have Jared Goff at quarterback, because Jared Goff is very, very good. But when he's not protected, just like most quarterbacks, he's not going to play at a high level, but it's more important just because he's not mobile like most quarterbacks in the NFL at this point. So he needs to be protected up there with like guys like Baker Mayfield and other guys that you put in that tier at all times. I would put Jalen Hurts in that same conversation, even though he's mobile. For his arm to be developed and for him to get in rhythm, he's got to be protected.
Yeah,
I will say though, like with that is I think the positive of all of it, it's like you don't need a tackle this year. You have Taylor and you have Penei, so like you're fine. I think after the end of this season, Jeff, I think they're going to have a good idea of what Giovanni Manu can be, and if he doesn't show, it's the same thing with Colby. Like Jeff, if I'm you, like you did it to me last year. You held Colby to a standard to where if he doesn't show anything in that year too, then you move on. So I think at the end of this season, if you never heard any positives about, obviously, if Taylor's healthy out there, you're never going to be able to see him. But if Gio and if you're not hearing anything in training camp, he's not showing progression, and in the preseason games, there's not progression. Then okay, we can start having that conversation next draft class in the first or second round. You go get yourself a tackle, right? Like you get a tackle, you figure it out. But if there is that, then maybe they got to steal in it. I love going back to the example in the Eagles with Jordan Mailata in the 7th round. Like I think it's a perfect comp to where it's a guy who didn't play football and he had all the skill sets and he had all the size, and it was like, hey, let's just get him in and see what he can do. Can we develop him? And guess what? They had the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Guess what the Lions have? They have the second best offensive line coach in the NFL. And then he's also learning from the best offensive lineman in the NFL, Penei. So if he's really has that skill set that's why I kind of leaned back into this, Jeff, because I'm like, dude, he has the skill set and he has the size. It's like when I think about it with Jordan Mailata, like that's what he had. Like he had the size. And it's like,
and the athleticism.
It obviously doesn't work out more times than not, because in my opinion, the reason it worked out with Jordan Mailata is because he had all that and the athleticism, but he also had the best O-line coach and he had an offensive line that was already built. And that's what the Lions have. And I look at it and I go, okay, maybe there actually is something there with the size and the athleticism and the skill to where if you do put them in the right positions and the right offense, you can actually get something out of it. But now, again, at the end of this year, I'll do the same thing with him with Colby. If he's not showing any progression and you're not seeing that jump, that Jordan Mailata jump,
might just think.
Yeah, which is fine. You just move on and you draft, right? You get a new tackle. So, but as of right now, the skill set, the size, the athleticism, I got to sit here and I got to stick with it until if Dan and those guys are still sticking with it right now and they're like living on that hill, I would have to think that there's something going on in that building with him that people don't know yet. They're keeping it under wraps.
Watch for the Giovanni Manu show. All I'm saying. We'll be back tomorrow.
The Giovanni Manu show.
Along with Johnny Mo, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you all, man.
Love you guys.
Stay safe out there. Stay cold. It's too hot. It's too hot. Peace.